Chapter 1281. Sima Yue felt the familiar power and was overjoyed. Aha, I'm free again. Top-grade Purple Lightning's excited and proud voice was heard, which made Sima Yue excited as well. With it around, he would be able to keep his life today. She took out a pill and ate it, hoping that it would make her broken body feel better. She did not think that she would recover her spirit energy at this time. Maybe this was the arrangement of the heavenly Tao. She had to go through a heavenly tribulation to recover. Or rather, the reason she was struck by lightning this time was because she was trying to save those people. The heavenly Tao found out about it, so it ended her punishment. But it did not matter to her as long as she recovered her spirit energy. After eating the pill, she did not have any energy left. She laid on the ground and looked at the dark clouds above her. She did not know when it would end. Top-grade Purple Lightning came out of her body and stood on her forehead. It looked at the heavenly tribulation in the sky with greedy eyes. Bang! The heavenly tribulation fell. This time, most of it was absorbed by top-grade Purple Lightning. Only a little entered her body. Even if it was just a little, her body could not take it. It was so painful that she wanted to faint. At this time, there was a fluctuation in the sky. Then, the space was torn apart. A figure walked out from inside, causing everyone to be stunned. Who is that? He can actually enter the area of the heavenly tribulation. Someone shouted. Once the heavenly tribulation started, the space within the area of the heavenly tribulation was separated from the outside. It was to prevent people from entering the area of the heavenly tribulation to cause trouble. But this person could actually tear apart the sky and go to Sima Yue's side. This was too unbelievable. That's His Highness, Holy Sun. The people of the Sage Pavilion recognized him and said excitedly. Tang Yun recognized him the moment he appeared. His lips curled into a meaningful smile. Ling Yu. I haven't seen him in a long time. Sima Yue looked blankly at Wu Lingyu, who came out from above her and landed beside her. I'm not hallucinating, right? She said weakly. Could it be that I missed you too much? Wu Lingyu's angry eyes turned into helplessness and tenderness after hearing her words. He squatted down beside her and looked at her body that was already beyond recognition. He picked her up and said with heartache, Why do you always make yourself like this? She blinked a few times before revealing a joyful expression. So it really is you, she said with a smile. The only part of her face that was still intact was her eyeballs. The rest of her face, all right, had been struck beyond recognition. But he didn't feel any disdain for her frightening appearance. He caressed her almost burnt face and said, Yes, it's me. I'm back. The words, I'll be back, instantly made her eyes tear up. She didn't even make a sound, even though her body had been hacked to pieces. God knows how much she missed him after not hearing from him for so many years. She couldn't hear his voice or touch his existence. Now, he finally said to her that he was back. Wu Lingyu looked at her from the void for a while. He saw her grimacing in pain for being struck by lightning. He saw her enduring great pain. But even so, she didn't cry out in pain or shed a single tear. He didn't think that her eyes would turn red with just one sentence from him. Originally, he didn't plan to come out when he saw her going through the tribulation and that there were so many people around. But when he saw how terrible her situation was, his heart ached and he came out. Don't cry. My heart hurts when you cry. Wu Lingyu wiped away the tears at the corner of her eyes. Tears were salty and it hurt even more when they fell on her face. Why did you come back at this time? Sima Yue suddenly complained. I came back as soon as the situation there stabilized. If I knew that you would encounter such a situation, I would have come back earlier. Wu Lingyu saw her complaint and quickly explained. Sima Yue didn't listen to his explanation and said, I was struck to this extent. If you come back at this time, you'll see me in my ugliest. Wu Lingyu was stunned. So that's what she was talking about. Seeing the embarrassment in her eyes, he smiled charmingly and said, No matter what you look like, you'll always be beautiful in my heart. After saying that, he planted a kiss on her lips. Sima Yue's heart melted from this kiss. Seeing his gentle eyes, her lips curled into a happy smile. The corners of her lips pulled at the flesh on her face. It hurt so much that she sucked in a breath of cold air. Don't move. I'll heal you. Wu Lingyu said. Don't. Sima Yue stopped him. I'm going through the tribulation now. Go out first. If you barge in like this, you'll definitely be severely punished. Before the tribulation lightning strikes, hurry and go out. It's okay, Wu Lingyu said nonchalantly. He held her hand and was about to transfer his spiritual energy to her when a bolt of lightning about half a meter wide fell from the sky above them. Lingyu, Sima Yue screamed. The people outside were also shocked. It seemed like the tribulation was very dissatisfied with the intruders. This tribulation lightning was thicker than the average one, which meant that it contained a lot more energy. Wu Lingyu saw Sima Yue's worried eyes and smiled. With a wave of his hand, the tribulation lightning stopped in midair. It wasn't just the tribulation lightning. The tribulation lightning and the figures of the ghosts within the tribulation clouds all froze. The group of old men were all stunned. Even Tang Yun, who had always been calm, stood up from his chair and looked at the frozen scene in disbelief. This is time freeze. He looked at Wu Lingyu, not daring to believe that he would really see this scene. Time freeze. Although the people around didn't recognize what it was, they understood what it was when they heard it. Space seal and time freeze. Although both of them control the surroundings, there were many people who knew how to use space seal. However, Wu Lingyu was the first person who knew how to use time freeze. The people outside were all stunned, but it wasn't because of his time freeze. Lingyu, Sima Yue looked at him blankly. Shoo, don't ask about other things. There's not much time left. Let me heal you first. Wu Lingyu smiled gently at her. Then, he put his left hand on her shoulder and his right hand on her forehead. A warm current flowed from her brain to her limbs, and the pain in her body lessened. 2 minutes later, he retracted his hand and placed her back on the ground, saying, This is as far as I can go, but it's enough for you to pass through the tribulation. I'll wait for you outside. With that, he disappeared from her side and appeared outside the tribulation clouds. At the same time, the tribulation lightning in the sky quickly struck down. Chapter 1282. The lightning that had stopped in the sky descended, and the ghosts began to move again. Screams rang out again, and the entire tribulation cloud area was in chaos again. Those who fled, those who died, and those who resisted, it was as if the 2-minute freeze didn't exist. When the heavenly tribulation struck, more than half of the extreme purple heavenly thunder was devoured. The rest of the extreme purple heavenly thunder entered Sima Yue's body. If not for Wu Lingyu's treatment, she would have lost half of her life. Although it had only been 2 minutes, a huge change had occurred in her body. She didn't know how Wu Lingyu had done it. Wu Lingyu stood beside the tribulation cloud and stared at Sima Yue without blinking. Although the expression on his face didn't change, every time a bolt of lightning landed on her body, his lips would tighten a little. Because there were too many ghost clansmen, the battle formation this time was much more powerful than the one in Bloodfiend City. It took almost 4 days to complete. After the cloud spirit killed all the ghost clan members, it saw Sima Yue who was lying on the ground. It pursed its lips. Humans were so troublesome. Just one strike and they became like this. If Sima Yue knew what it was thinking, it would probably die from anger. How was it only struck once? From start to finish, there were no less than 100 times, all right? Although the beast blocked a lot of the attacks, she was still struck very badly. Unfortunately, they were not contracted, so she had no way of knowing what it was thinking. Forget about the way you are today. In a few days, you have to look for me. The cloud spirit's cute voice sounded in Sima Yue's mind. She did not expect it to be able to transmit its voice. Knowing that it wanted the fruit wine, it agreed in its heart, then closed its eyes and fainted. Cloud Spirit left with satisfaction after getting her promise. Once it left, the tribulation clouds quickly dispersed. When the surrounding people saw that the tribulation cloud had not left, they thought that something had happened. Now that it had finally left, they all heaved a sigh of relief. Wu Lingyu appeared by her side as soon as the tribulation cloud left. Seeing that she had fainted, he carried her in his arms. The space tunnel opened, and Bai Shang brought Ximen Feng out. Seeing the unconscious Sima Yue, he asked anxiously, "How is she?" "She's still breathing. She just fainted." Wu Lingyu said, "Take her back to rest first." Sima Lu Feng and Sima Lu Yun came over as well, and the rest of the Sima family followed behind them. "How's Yue?" Sima Lu Feng asked. "We'll talk about it when we get back." Wu Lingyu hugged Sima Yue and turned to look at Bai Shang. Bai Shang nodded. He opened the space tunnel and brought them back. Sima Lu Yun and Sima Lu Feng walked behind. The spatial tunnel closed the moment they entered. Those Sima family members who wanted to follow were locked outside. The Sima family felt awkward. The young masters were too much. They were also concerned about the young Mississippi. Why didn't they bring them along? At this time, Tuoba Hongya walked out and told the group of old men that he needed their help to seal the passage. Coincidentally, there's still heaven's pressure in this area. If we use this as a seal, the effect would be the best. Tuoba Hongya said. "Tuoba family head, what do you want us to do? Just tell us." "All right, everyone, please follow me." Wu Lingyu brought Sima Yue back to Memory Restaurant. Baida was shocked when he saw Sima Yue, who was burnt. What happened to Vice Valley Lord? She was struck by lightning. Ximen Feng said, "Lingyu, I'll bring you to her room. Old Bai, when they come back, don't let them in while we heal." "Yes, Valley Lord." Wu Lingyu glanced at Ximen Feng, and a few of them went straight to Sima Yue's room. Baida was worried when he saw that Sima Yue was injured so badly. He paced around in the courtyard, waiting for Bai Shang and the rest to come out to ask about the situation. After a while, Feng Kai and Feng Ji brought Bei Gongtang and the rest in. When they saw Baita, they asked, "Are Valley Lord and Boss back?" "They're back. They brought her to heal." Baita said, "Let's go in and take a look." Fatty Chu said as he walked towards the backyard. Don't. Baida pulled them back and said, "Valley Lord instructed us to heal Vice Valley Lord and not to disturb him. Don't go and cause trouble." "How badly is Yue injured?" Bei Gong Tang asked. "Looks like her whole body is burnt. There's not a single spot that's not injured." Baida said, "What happened? Why is Vice Valley Lord injured so badly?" "It's hard to explain. We're not in the mood to talk about what happened." Feng Kai said, "There's no use in being anxious. The door isn't open. You can't go in. Why don't you tell me what happened?" Baida said. Feng Kai and the rest thought so too. They sighed and told him what happened these few days. "You're saying that Vice Valley Lord killed all the ghost clansmen alone?" Baida was shocked. This Vice Valley Lord was too powerful. The lightning tribulation struck for 4 days and 4 nights. How could it not strike those ghost clansmen to death? Fatty Chu and the rest recalled the scene. They were terrified just by watching from the outside. They couldn't imagine how she managed to survive the lightning tribulation, especially since she didn't have any spirit energy. They felt heartache when they saw her being struck from afar. They didn't know how she was now. In the house, Sima Yue's situation wasn't good. Wu Lingyu, Bai Shang, Ximen Feng, Sima Lu Feng, and Sima Lu Yun took turns to inject spirit energy into her, suppressing the chaotic spirit energy in her body. This was her own spirit energy. If she didn't guide it, they wouldn't be obedient. But she was in a coma. She didn't have any consciousness to guide the spirit energy. They could only suppress it. The divine devil physique quickly recovered her body. With the help of the pills, 2 days later, her consciousness finally started to condense. She felt the chaotic spirit energy in her body and subconsciously started to guide it. Once her body started to move on its own, the people in the middle heaved a sigh of relief. Half a day later, Sima Yue opened her eyes. She saw the few men beside her bed. Her first reaction was, "Why are you all here? Did you see me naked?" Everyone was speechless. "If you can say this, it means that you've recovered. Seems like we don't have to worry anymore." Sima Lu Feng said, "Your body is still covered with a thick layer of scars. No one saw anything." So, her second reaction was, "God, you guys actually saw me in such an ugly state. It's good that Lingyu doesn't despise you." Ximen Feng said, "All right, since she's fine, let's go and rest." Sima Lu Yun said, in order to save her, they used up a lot of spirit energy and energy. Now that she woke up, They were really tired. Chapter 1283. After everyone left, only Wu Lingyu and her were left in the room. Sima Yue saw that he looked tired and said, "You should go back and rest too. I'll handle the rest myself. I've seen an even uglier appearance before, but it's much better now, so you don't have to feel embarrassed." Wu Lingyu said. With her intentions exposed, Sima Yue glared at him and said, "I told you to rest, so go and rest. I'll go with you." Wu Lingyu didn't want to leave, so she simply sat down by the bed. "If you want me to rest, then I'll rest here. You won't vomit even if you look at me like this." It was a little uncomfortable at first, but it was fine after looking at it for a while, Wu Lingyu joked. Sima Yue wanted to slap him, but she couldn't move. She could only glare at him. Previously, he said that he didn't mind, but now he said that he felt uncomfortable looking at it. Sure enough, men's words couldn't be trusted. Wu Lingyu laid down beside her and looked at her body that had mostly recovered. He reached out and stroked her cheek, saying, "All right, you're recovering your body now. If you get angry, you'll have wrinkles." I won't show you even if I have wrinkles." Sima Yue pulled a long face. If you pull a long face when you're repairing your body, you'll keep pulling a long face in the future. You don't look good. Come on, smile. Wu Lingyu gently poked her face with a finger, teasing her as if she was teasing a kitten. "You'll get wrinkles if you smile. It's fine. I have pills that can remove wrinkles. Go away." The two of them chatted for a while, and soon, both of them fell asleep. Sima Yue's body automatically went into recovery mode, while Wu Lingyu rested. Previously, he had used up quite a bit of his energy to freeze time. After that, he had transferred his spiritual energy to her. After that, he had come back with them to save her. Even though he was powerful, he was still a little tired. During this time, no one came to her room. Even though they knew that Wu Lingyu was inside, no one said anything. Firstly, he wouldn't do anything to her in her current state. Secondly, his previous behavior had made it clear that he had feelings for her. If it wasn't for him, Yue might not have been able to make it through today. Therefore, they were very grateful to him. They also felt that only someone like him was worthy of such an outstanding person like her. Time freeze. There was no one in the entire continent who could comprehend it. He was the only one who could do it. Needless to say, his talent was extraordinary. Wu Lingyu didn't sleep for a long time and woke up soon. He looked at her in bed for a while, his eyes full of love. In the past, he didn't know what it felt like to like a person, and he hated those women who cried, looked weak, and chattered. So even if he was the Demon King, he didn't allow women to get close to him. But he didn't expect that one day he would sign a master and servant contract with a human, and that he would be in close contact with a human for so many years. From the contract, he could feel all of her emotions: happiness, excitement, sadness. His heart rose and fell with her, slowly blending into her emotions. Slowly, he let her live in his heart. Moreover, she wasn't like the women he had been in contact with before. She was bold, careful, tenacious, hardworking, and sincerely devoted to the people around her. Although sometimes she was very bad, and many times she didn't care about her own safety, these weren't her shortcomings now. They were all things that attracted him. He was very glad that she had him in her heart. They cared about each other. When he thought of her saying that she missed him, his heart was filled with warmth. Next time, you're not allowed to do such a dangerous thing. He kissed her lips, then got up, opened the door, and walked out. The little guys were still guarding the courtyard. When Shimin Feng and the others came out, they saw that they were too tired, so they didn't ask them. Now that they saw Wu Lingyu come out, they were familiar with him, so they asked him about the situation. "She's fine. She'll be fine when she wakes up in 2 days," Wu Lingyu said. At this time, a waiter ran in from outside. He glanced at Wu Lingyu, then said to Bai Ta, "Shopkeeper, the people from the Sage Pavilion are here. They want to see the Holy Sun." Bai Ta looked at Wu Lingyu and said, "Does the Holy Sun want to see them?" "Yes, there are some things that I have to explain." Wu Lingyu finished speaking and left the courtyard. "All right, you guys can leave too. The Vice Valley Lord won't come out even if you stay here and guard." Bai Ta followed Wu Lingyu out after he finished speaking. "I'll wait here," Fatty Chu said as he walked to the corridor and sat down. Without seeing Sima Yue, he really couldn't be at ease. Even if we leave, we can't let go of her. Why don't we wait here? Bei Gong Tang said. The others agreed. The lightning tribulation was too scary. They couldn't imagine what Sima Yue was like now. Without seeing her, they couldn't be at ease. Although Sima Yue was in a deep sleep, her consciousness was still awake. She even knew that Wu Lingyu had left. However, the current situation didn't allow her to be distracted. Because other than controlling the chaotic spiritual energy, she also had to control the increasing power of faith. Every time she saw the power of faith, she felt helpless. Such a good thing couldn't be used. Her heart ached. And because of this incident, the power of faith in her body exploded, almost causing her to collapse a few times. So when the situation stabilized, she woke up and flashed into the spirit pagoda. She directly laid on her bed. Although her body still couldn't move, at least the power of faith here wouldn't continue to increase. She could take a deep breath and have a good sleep. In a daze, Sima Yue felt like she was bitten. Then, a tender voice appeared in her head. She opened her eyes and saw a little golden snake coiled around her chest. Seeing that she had woken up, it said excitedly, You're awake? Sima Yue blinked and looked at little golden snake. She was stunned for a few seconds before she reacted. Did you just use the contract to send me a message? That's right. We have a contract. Little golden snake's voice was filled with joy. It wasn't unhappy at all. She knew it. This guy usually only spoke a few words. How could he speak so smoothly all of a sudden? It turned out that he was using voice transmission. But why did this guy want to form a contract with her? Little golden snake knew what she was thinking and took the initiative to explain, because Meng and the others can block the lightning tribulation for Yu. You guys are all injured together. Only I can't. I want to be with you guys too. That's good. I could be with you guys in the future. Sima Yue looked at its pure eyes. She didn't know how to tell it that once they formed a contract, they would lose their freedom. Chapter 12:84. The little golden snake knew what she was thinking. It climbed on her neck and wrapped itself around her. Then it rubbed its little finger-sized head against her face and said, Although I don't know much about this world, I still know what a contract is. Following you won't make me lose my freedom. You sure are sure. Sima Yue moved her hands. Because of the contract, the wounds on her body had healed. However, the scars were still there, and they still looked scary. She sat up, stretched her neck, and held Xiao Jin in her hands. She said gratefully, It's so comfortable when you're healthy. Xiao Jin, thank you for helping me recover so quickly. Little gold can't transcend the tribulation with you, but it can help you heal. Little Jin is so happy. Sima Yue laughed when she saw Xiao Jin's body swaying from side to side. But why didn't my spiritual energy increase after I contracted with you? Sima Yue asked. Yeah, why? The little golden snake stopped and looked at her blankly. Because I suppressed it for you. Little Spirit said, You will feel it when you go out. Thank you, Little Spirit. Sima Yue knew that he was doing this for her own good. By the way, how are the others? Their injuries are more serious, and they are all in seclusion to heal. However, this is also beneficial to them. Little Spirit said, What benefits? The little golden snake did not understand. The tribulation lightning they receive can help them comprehend the heavenly Tao. Although they won't truly comprehend their own Tao, like you humans, it's still beneficial to their cultivation. Moreover, it will also increase their battle prowess by a lot. Little Spirit said, I didn't know it could be used like that. The next time you go through the tribulation, let me go with you. The little golden snake said. Sima Yue saw that it was curious about this, so she nodded and said, All right, I'll let you try it next time. Let's go and see them now. She brought the little golden snake to take a look at the beasts. All of them had transformed into their original forms and fallen asleep. Qi Yin was not with them. He was on the Qing Yi tree. Sima Yue went to see him. He was recovering well. Qing Yi appeared beside her. Seeing that she had recovered her strength, he said, It's faster than I expected. But makes sense. You saved so many people and endured the heavenly tribulation. The heavenly Tao naturally won't seal you. I didn't expect it to be so soon. Sima Yue said, but the price is quite high. Do you know that this is the cycle of karma? The seed you plant today will bring you unexpected results in the future. Qing Yi smiled faintly, stunning Sima Yue. Karma? Since he had planted good karma today, he should also reap good karma in the future, right? Judging from Tsing Yi's reaction, she seemed to know something. However, based on the usual behavior of people at their level, it must be some kind of secret. Sima Yue looked around, and after making sure that everyone was fine, she went to the pill refining room to refine pills for herself. Although her physique could prevent her from leaving any scars on her body, she still wanted to use pills to speed up the process. On the other side, Wu Lingyu went to Memory Restaurant. There wasn't a single person eating in the main hall. They were all from the Sage Pavilion and the Sima family. Seeing Wu Lingyu come out, the people from the Sage Pavilion bowed to him. He came in front of Tang Yun and bowed slightly, saying Assistant Pavilion Master. Tang Yun looked at Wu Lingyu and didn't say a word. Everyone thought that he was going to get angry, but he smiled instead. Lingyu, where have you been all these years? From the opening of the Immortal Land until now, the people from the Sage Pavilion hadn't heard from him for 20 years. If not for his life jade, they would have thought that something bad had happened to him. They sent people to the central regions to ask. They said that he had left a sentence to look for an opportunity before disappearing. The head pavilion even sent people to look for him. However, it was left unsettled in the end. Because I suddenly had an epiphany, I went out to look for an opportunity. After that, I found a paradise and went into seclusion there. Wu Lingyu said, you just came out of seclusion. Yes. Wu Lingyu said, the moment I came out, I sensed that something had happened to Yue, so I came over to take a look. With his previous performance, no one doubted his words. After all, to be able to comprehend this, not to mention 20 years, even 200 years was possible. You've already comprehended the power of time? An elder from the inner regions asked. I've just crossed the threshold. Wu Lingyu answered humbly. The only thing I can do now is to freeze time. That's already very impressive. That elder looked at him with admiration. Time and space are different. It's even more difficult to comprehend time. If it wasn't for the fact that there was an ancient person who knew this move, we would have thought that it was a lie. In 10,000 years, no one knew this. Your Highness Holy Son doesn't have to be humble. Wu Lingyu smiled and didn't continue talking about this. Lingyu, when did you get together with Sima Yue? Tang Yun asked. The first time I went to the Yilin continent, I met her. After that, I slowly got to know her and fell in love with her. Wu Lingyu said, although Sima Yue is young, her background and power make me blush with shame. Only she is worthy of the Holy Son. The elder said. The people from the Sima family were unhappy and said, what do you mean our family's young miss is worthy of him? It's obvious that only he is worthy of our family's young Mississippi. Sima family, don't go too far. We've given you some face, and you've taken advantage of us. You Sage Pavilion are the ones who are. If not for the fact that your Highness Holy Son treats our family's young miss well, we wouldn't have taken a fancy to you. You all right? Everyone quiet down. What's the point of making a ruckus here? Tang Yun scolded. No matter what, Sima Yue just solved the disaster for the continent. How can you argue about this when she's injured? The people from the Sage Pavilion did not speak. The Sima family wanted to say something, but they were interrupted. If I didn't remember wrongly, at that time, Sima Yue was abandoned by you, right? Now you're saying that she's your young miss, but whether she acknowledges it or not is another matter. The Sima family was poked in their sore spot. They were angry, but they could not refute, because when the great elder returned, he said that Sima Yue did not seem to be willing to return to the clan. Everyone, Baida, who was watching from the side, finally spoke. He cupped his hands and said, our family's Valley Lord has said that while the Vice Valley Lord is recuperating, he hopes that everyone will not disturb him. We won't disturb, we'll just wait here. The people from the Sima family said. But Baida was in a difficult position. But we still need to operate here. We don't have a place to stay. If you stay here, you'll disturb us. Bida did not finish his sentence, but everyone understood what he meant. Chapter 1285. The Sage Pavilion and the Sema clan both had some opinions about the people from Heartbreak Valley. They had made their intentions clear so blatantly. They were a force from the inner regions. There were many forces from the outer regions who wanted to curry favor with them. How could they push them away like this? But their own boss didn't say anything. Even if these people had their own thoughts, they couldn't say anything. I heard that there's an inn next door. Do you want to come with us? Tang Yin looked at Wu Lingyu and asked. Wu Lingyu shook his head. Her condition is not stable now. I have to look after her. So affectionate. Tang Yin sighed and led the people from the Sage Pavilion out. The Sage Pavilion had already set an example. The Sema family couldn't get angry. After all, this was little Mrs. Force. She hadn't said that she was going back to the clan. If they messed things up, it would be hard to explain when they went back. Aren't you doing business? Then let's do our business. Everyone, let's go eat. All right. So, for the next few days, the Sema family ate and drank here. They spent a lot of money. Luckily, the Sema family was rich and didn't care about this bit of money. Sema US stayed in the Spirit Pagoda for a month. The scars on her body disappeared completely under the effect of the pills and her physique. Little Spirit told her that everyone was waiting for her outside. Only then did she find a set of clothes that could protect her from divine sense. Then she put on a cloak and a pair of gloves to cover her whole body, so that no one would be able to see her current state. She knew that Wu Lingyu was in her room. When she went out, she wasn't surprised to see him. Wu Lingyu saw that she had wrapped herself up, went up and pulled open her cloak, saying, "Why did you wrap yourself up so tightly? It's only been a few days. If I stand in front of others in perfect condition, they will think of me as a monster." Sema US said, "Even if they don't think of me as a monster, they will be curious about me. If someone finds out, I'll be in trouble." Sema Yu had yet to finish speaking when the expression on her face became a little strange. Wu Lingyu grabbed her hand, wanting to see what was wrong with her. He felt that her strength had increased by another level, allowing her to jump from the Divine Paragon Intermediate rank to the Divine Paragon Advanced rank. Furthermore, she didn't stop after she broke through. She only stopped when she touched the Monarch rank. Feeling the change in the air, she grabbed Wu Lingyu's hand, saying, "Quickly take me away from here." Wu Lingyu knew that she was going to face the lightning tribulation again, so he grabbed her hand and opened a space tunnel to leave. In the inn next door, Tang Yin felt something. He opened a spatial passage and walked in. Wu Lingyu took Sima Yu to the outskirts of Sixwater City, far away from those people. This place is quite far from Sixwater City. It shouldn't attract any attention, Wu Lingyu said. As soon as he said that, he sensed movement in the air. Sima US stared at him. Didn't he say it was safe? Why did someone come so quickly? Tang Yin came out of the spatial passage. Sima Yue was a little surprised. Why did this guy follow her? She thought that someone came here by accident, but now it seemed like it wasn't. The tribulation cloud in the air was quickly condensing. If he was here, wouldn't she be exposed? Wu Lingyu wasn't surprised. He patted Sima Yue's shoulder, saying, "It's okay. Go prepare for your tribulation." Sima Yue looked at Tang Yin, who was walking over, then looked at Wu Lingyu. Seeing that he was so sure, she nodded, turned, and walked toward the empty space. Dark clouds gathered above her head. After the previous tribulation, this tribulation was like child's play to the three of them. If it was someone else, they would definitely be prepared, but to Sima Yue, this tribulation wasn't enough to make her nervous. She waited for the cloud spirit to arrive, then flew directly to the tribulation cloud, looking for the cloud spirit to chat. Tang Yin stood beside Wu Lingyu, saying, "Ever since you came here, your eyes have been on her. Am I that unattractive? Why do you sound so sour?" Wu Lingyu rolled her eyes at him. "How can I not be sour? In any case, I'm still the Sage Pavilion's assistant pavilion master on the surface. You don't even want to keep up appearances. I called you twice, and you didn't even come. You're guarding her all day, treating her like a treasure, and me like a blade of grass." Tang Yin said bitterly, "Did I ask you to be a blade of grass?" Wu Lingyu glanced at him helplessly. Isn't that right? You should have told me earlier that you were close to her. I could have helped you take care of her in the immortal land. Tang Yun said, Tell you? Wouldn't that make you even more curious? Wu Lingyu knew Tang Yun too well. Even if she didn't tell him, he was already interested in Sima Yue. If she told him, it would be terrible. Moreover, during that time, he was with Yue. Why would Tang Yun take care of her? If anyone else was here, they would definitely be surprised by the way the two of them interacted. How was this something a superior and subordinate would say? It was something only a pair of good friends would do. Tang Yun saw Sima Yue suddenly fly into the tribulation cloud and was shocked, saying, What is she doing in the clouds? Chatting. Wu Lingyu said. Tang Yun's eyes widened. Chatting? With who? The cloud spirit. The heavenly messenger that controls the tribulation? Since when were they close enough to chat? Tang Yun felt that it was a little unbelievable. Seeing it with his own eyes was more shocking than hearing her say that she was going easy on the cloud spirit. It's probably because of their friendship. Wu Lingyu saw the envy in his eyes and patted his shoulder, saying, Since you're so interested, why don't you go and get struck by it? Maybe you can form a friendship too. Go, why don't you go? Tang Yun slapped his hand away, saying, She's immune to lightning, right? Otherwise, how could she enter the tribulation cloud? Wu Lingyu didn't say anything, silently agreeing with his words. What a mysterious woman. Tang Yun touched his chin, his eyes filled with interest towards her, feeling the sudden drop in temperature. He said helplessly, Do you have to be like this? She's your woman. Do you think I can covet her? With your personality, it's hard to say. Wu Lingyu lowered his own pressure. He believed in Yue, but he didn't believe this guy. Tang Yun saw that he was serious, waved his hand, saying, Okay. I won't do anything to her, okay? Wu Lingyu then retracted his gaze. But you didn't go into seclusion for the past 20 years, right? Tang Yun said, Did you go back to the Devil Realm? Devil Realm? Huh. I haven't gone back for a long time. I don't know what it's like now. Tang Yun sighed. If others heard it, they would be shocked by his words. The Sage Pavilion's assistant pavilion master was actually a devil who cultivated both the dark and light attributes. Chapter 1286. Wu Lingyu didn't know about Tang Yun's identity in the past. The two of them only had a good relationship in private, but it wasn't to the point where they had to share such a secret. Later on, when their souls fused as one, he became extremely sensitive to the aura of the demon race and discovered his true identity. At that time, he was also very surprised. Later on, when he found out about Tang Yun's matters, their relationship became even better. The devil world is a bit chaotic right now. If you go back, your enemies probably won't have time to chase after you. Wu Lingyu said, That's not necessarily true. Tang Yun's face flashed with hatred. But no matter what, I will definitely return to this devil realm. Yes, I'll take my revenge. Hurry back and settle the situation over there. That way, when I go back, there won't be so much trouble. Tang Yun said, I asked you to come along, but you didn't want to. Maybe next time. When I have the courage to go back, I will definitely go back with you. All right. Sima Yu, who was on the tribulation cloud, didn't hear anything about the conversation here. At this time, she was drinking wine with Cloud Spirit. Where had you been all these years? Cloud Spirit raised its head from the wine jar. The jar of wine was finished in less than 2 minutes. It smacked its lips twice. It was still a familiar taste. I went to the immortal land and stayed there for 20 years. Sima Yue said, Why did you miss me? I miss your wine, Cloud Spirit said bluntly. You once said that the 3 realms belonged to you. Why wasn't it you in the immortal land? Sima Yue asked, Does the immortal realm belong to the ghost realm, devil realm, and human realm? This doesn't even belong to the 3 realms. How can it be under my jurisdiction? Cloud Soul said, Are you still in charge of the tribulation in the ghost realm? Okay. Cloud Spirit jumped onto another jar of wine and buried its head in it. Sima Yue smiled as she watched Cloud Spirit gulp down the wine. If the other 2 realms were really under its control, then she would have another way to deal with her enemies in the future. All right, I'm going to chop it. You can leave now. All right. Save the wine and pills for me first. Cloud Spirit finished another jar of wine and said to her. Sima Yue gave it a pile of fruit wine and pills before flying down. As soon as she landed, a bolt of tribulation lightning struck down. Fortunately, it wasn't very strong, otherwise she wouldn't have been able to withstand it. This Cloud Spirit, why is it striking so fast? She muttered, and let the purple top-grade heavenly lightning climb to the top of her head to receive the tribulation lightning behind. Tang Yun saw that Sima Yue had easily received the lightning tribulation and was completely fine. He sighed and said, "Other than her, I'm afraid no one else would be able to pass the tribulation so calmly." Why is this heavenly tribulation getting heavier? Wu Lingyu had been watching her the entire time. Naturally, she knew why the heavenly tribulation was getting heavier. Sima Yue did not expect that the appearance of the little golden snake would cause a change in the heavenly tribulation. This had never happened before. The little golden snake was on Sima Yue's neck. When it saw the tribulation clouds in the sky, it shrank its head back in fear. "If you're scared, you can go back first." Sima Yue patted its little head. "I'm not scared." The little golden snake said, "Little Roar and the rest can do it. So can I. I'm much stronger than them. Moreover, I feel that I should be struck by lightning. But I don't know why." Sima Yue looked at the little golden snake in astonishment. "It should be struck by lightning? It's probably because you're an ancient creature and you've advanced in rank. That's why you need to be struck by lightning?" She guessed. The little golden snake did not know, but its instincts told it that being struck by lightning would be beneficial. As a result, when the lightning tribulation came down, the little golden snake jumped up from her body and caught the lightning tribulation halfway. SSS-. When the lightning tribulation struck its body, the little golden snake's body returned to its original form. Its golden body flickered with the light of lightning. Its 100-meter-long body struggled in the air, as if it was heavily injured by the lightning. This is... Tang Yun looked at Sima Yue. How is this possible? Although Wu Lingyu always knew that the little golden snake was an ancient creature, he never thought of its identity. Today, when he saw its original form, his heart was shocked. Tang Yun looked at him and saw that he was shocked as well. His heart felt better. "I never thought that the ancient sacred bee-soaring snake would live until today. Did it come from a spirit stone?" Wu Lingyu nodded and frowned, saying, "I never thought that such a small thing would actually be a soaring snake. This girl's contracted beasts are each stronger than the other." "Your voice is very heavy. Isn't this good?" "Her luck. I'm afraid that other than you, no one else can compare to her." Tang Yin pointed out. This he was not referring to his current identity, but the Demon King from hundreds of thousands of years ago. "That's why I died early." Wu Lingyu said. "What are you worried about? Everyone's luck is fixed." Wu Lingyu said, "If a person's luck is too good, there will be a certain amount of responsibility or setbacks. Her luck is too good. Her cultivation talent, the talents of various professions, the status of contracted beasts by her side, all these are consuming her luck. I'm worried that something will happen to her in the future that we can't predict." Even he had become a part of her luck. If she did not meet him, she would not have her current accomplishments in alchemy, beast taming, and a raise. Tang Yin also understood this point. The higher one's strength, the more they would understand this. Her luck and talent are really too good. Is there any way to resolve it? Tang Yin asked. If it was in the past, I might be able to sense it, but with my current strength. Wu Lingyu was helpless. He could not sense what would happen to her in the future, so he could not determine if it was good or bad. Why don't you find some time to look for Yinlin? You might know something, Tang Yin suggested. That's the only way. It was just that the two of them knew that Yinlin might not say anything. It was nothing before, but now that I've heard you say it, the continent seems to be in a mess recently. Tang Yin was a little flustered. Since ancient times, every time there's chaos, there will always be outstanding people appearing. Now that I've seen her, I think that the human realm is going to be in chaos. Isn't it chaotic enough? Wu Lingyu said, That's right. These few years, how's the investigation of those people going? I don't know what kind of power it is. Even the Sage Pavilion's intelligence system can't find any trace of them. Tang Yin said, I think it's a few powers working together. Otherwise, they wouldn't be so powerful. Even you can't find out anything. Wu Lingyu was a little surprised. Tang Yin nodded and said, that's right. Our people would be one step behind. Although we found many clues, we didn't get any useful information. I'm thinking, could it be that the Sage Pavilion is also involved? This book came from. Chapter 1287. The lightning tribulation only struck a few times before it ended carelessly. The three of them couldn't stand it anymore. Sima Yue returned after the lightning tribulation. The two of them stopped talking. When Wu Lingyu saw her return, he walked over to catch her and asked, How was it? I'm fine, but little golden snake seems to have some problems. After receiving 2 lightning tribulations, it fell asleep. Sima Yue said, It should be digesting the power of the lightning tribulation. Don't worry. Wu Lingyu tidied her messy hair. How was your trip this time? Yes. Cloud Spirit is good at going easy on me. It doesn't matter to me. Sima Yue smiled. If others were to hear your words, I don't know if they would be jealous of you or laugh at you for being struck so many times. Tang Yin walked over and laughed. No matter what they think, it has nothing to do with me. Sima Yue said nonchalantly. Your mentality is really... Tang Yin looked at Sima Yue. Are you really a little girl? How can you be so calm? What do you think? Sima Yue asked. It doesn't seem like it. Tang Yin expressed his feelings. Your thoughts are better than those old farts. Are you trying to regain your youth? Take your time to think about it. I won't tell you. Sima Yue said, Lingyu, let's go back. If we leave without saying goodbye, they will be worried if they don't see me. All right. Wu Lingyu held her hand and opened a spatial passageway to look at Tang Yin. Tang Yin thought that Wu Lingyu was inviting him out of goodwill, but before he could say anything, he was doused with cold water by Wu Lingyu. You can leave after we leave. After Wu Lingyu finished speaking, he pulled Sima Yue into the spatial tunnel. Once they entered, the tunnel closed. When Tang Yin saw the spatial passageway close just like that, he could not resist sighing emotionally and said, Really forgetting friends after having a wife. Sigh, I'd better go back myself. After sighing with emotion, he opened a spatial passage and went back. Sima Yue and Wu Lingyu's sudden appearance in the courtyard gave the little guys a fright. Yue, why did you come back? He just went out to transcend the tribulation. Sima Yue said. They looked at her in surprise. You advanced again? Yeah, when I was unconscious, little golden snake contracted with me, and then I leveled up. Sima Yue said, but because of the contract, my injuries have healed. That's good. Bei Gong Tang saw that her skin had also recovered to its original state, without leaving behind any scars. Only then did she relax. Shimin Feng and Sima Luyan came out. Seeing that Sima Yue had completely recovered, the former was calm while the other two were shocked. It has only been a few days, right? How did he recover so quickly? It's good to be young. Sima Lufeng walked 2 rounds around Sima Yue and sighed. It's good that you've recovered. Sima Luyan did not agree with Sima Lufeng's words about being young, but he did not continue asking. Bai Ta came in from the front courtyard. When he saw that Sima Yue had already recovered, he was stunned. Shopkeeper Bai, what's the matter? Shimin Feng spoke, interrupting his surprise. It's like this. The Sima family is outside, asking about the Vice Valley Lord's injuries. They said that they want to come in and see the Vice Valley Lord. Bai Ta regained his senses and said, Sima family? Sima Yue looked at Sima Luyan. The people they brought? It's second elder and some uncles in the family, which is your grandfather's generation. They said that they want to see you. Sima Luyan said. Sima Yue frowned. Did this have a deeper meaning? Yue, no matter what, you're still a member of the Sima family. The blood flowing in your body is the blood of the Sima family. Sima Lufeng continued. Although we don't like some people in the family, it's still our family. But to me, it's just a place with the same surname. Sima Yue continued. It has never raised me or taught me anything. I've never eaten any food there, nor have I eaten any pills. The family has let you down, but this can't erase the fact that you're a member of the Sima family. A voice came from the sky. Then, the space tunnel opened and a few elders in white came out. Sima Lu Feng and Sima Lu Yun were stunned when they saw these people. They went forward and bowed. Greetings to Clan Master and elders. Clan Master, aren't you all in closed-door cultivation? Why are you all out? Sima Lu Feng asked. Gang, he asked us to come out. Sima family's Clan Master, Sima Ji Yuan, answered Sima Lu Feng, but his gaze was always on Sima Yue. Sima Gang, he was the great elder. He didn't come along this time because of the family and Gu family's matters. He didn't expect these old fellows to come personally. Yue, this is the Clan Master. These are the elders of the family. Sima Lu Feng introduced. Sima Yue bowed slightly to them and said, Heartbreak Valley's Vice Valley Lord greets the Sima family's Clan Master. When she said that, the faces of the Sima family's old fellows darkened. I'm your great-grandfather, Sima Ji Yuan said. My grandfather's father died long ago in Yilin continent. Sima Yue smiled, but the smile didn't reach her eyes. Sima Lu Feng and Sima Lu Yun were shocked when they heard what she said. They quickly explained, Clan Master, Yue didn't mean it that way. Sima Ji Yuan waved his hand to interrupt them. He stared at Sima Yue and said, I've seen your information. You have the right to be arrogant, but no matter how arrogant you are, you can't deny that you're a member of the Sima family. Sima Yue shrugged and said, If I didn't have these external conditions, didn't have so many powerful contracted beasts, and didn't have such good talent, would you still say such things? Sima Lu Feng lowered his head, feeling a little sad. Although they always talked about the family had become more and more disappointing and cold. Yue was right. If she wasn't so powerful, would the family have sent so many people to invite her back? Sima Ji Yuan looked at her eyes that were filled with anger. He was silent for a while before he said in a low voice, Why do you think you can live until now? Sima Yue frowned. What do you mean? Do you want me to thank you for not killing me that year? Sima Ji Yuan shook his head. He didn't say anything but condensed his spirit energy. Sima Lu Yun thought that he was going to attack Sima Yue and stood in front of her subconsciously. However, Sima Yue grabbed his arm. Sima Lu Yun turned around and looked at her. She looked straight at the spirit energy in Sima Ji Yuan's hand. Her face was filled with disbelief and shock. She walked over in a daze and reached out to touch his spirit energy. She muttered, How could it be? Chapter 1288. Sima Yue felt a familiar aura and took 2 steps back. She shook her head and said, No. It was everyone's first time seeing her so shocked. They wanted to ask her what was wrong, but they didn't dare to open their mouths under Sima Ji Yuan's pressure. Wu Lingyu stepped forward and put an arm around her shoulders. He used a little strength to let her feel his presence and support. So, do you understand now? Sima Ji Yuan asked as he dispersed his spiritual energy. How is this possible? Sima Yue looked at him. Weren't my parents the ones who sealed me? Why is it you? She couldn't be more familiar with the aura that sealed the dark spirit energy in her body. She always thought that it was sealed by her parents, because Sima Lu Yun and the others also said that not long after she was born, her parents' spirit energy was emptied. Ever since she heard this, she had thought so. Her parents must have used up all their spiritual power to seal her. Therefore, the seal in his body must have been made by his parents. However, she could feel that Sima Ji Yuan's aura was the same as the aura sealed in her body. This meant that the dark spiritual energy in her body was sealed by Sima Ji Yuan. If it was true, then what did her parents experience after giving birth to her that caused their spiritual power to dry up? But no one knew until they found them. If it was true, then wouldn't this person who claimed to be his great-grandfather know everything? When your father brought you to the family, although it brought a lot of trouble, we didn't abandon you. Although I was the one who sealed you, the elders also helped. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to seal you with my strength alone. Then you know about my physique? Sima Yue asked. If I didn't know about your constitution, why would I seal it for you? Sima Ji Yuan said. So although the clan has let you down all these years, we have never abandoned you. Although Sima Yue did not want to believe him, the seal in her body told her that he was telling the truth. Although Sima Lu Yun and Sima Lu Feng didn't know about the seal, but from their conversation, they understood quite a bit. But if that's the case, why would I be harmed by my family? How did it end up in the Yilin continent? You didn't end up in the lower continents. Sima Ji Yuan corrected her. He didn't end up here? Back then, the elders and I all knew that your father had taken you away. Actually, this is your father's idea, and also the family's idea. Sima Ji Yuan said, "You're a smart child. You should understand that your status was so awkward at that time. Everyone in the inner regions was watching you and paying attention to you. You had to be on guard against attacks from others from time to time. Your family can protect you, but can you grow up like this?" The answer was of course no. Letting you go outside is the result of your father's discussion with us. In order to ensure that no one knows about your whereabouts, we let your father take you away. But who would have thought that he would never return? Thinking about how the number one genius of the clan had disappeared just like that, the old man sighed with emotion. Sima Yue remained silent. She needed time to think about what he had said. Since Patriarch knows everything, then do you know where Lu Xian is? Sima Lu Feng asked. I don't know. He originally said that he would return after settling the child, but he went missing just like that. But I think, according to his personality, he must have received some news and went to the ghost realm. Sima Ji Yuan said, Why didn't you send people to look for my father when you knew that he was injured? Why not? If the family objected, would your two uncles have been looking for him for so many years? Sima Ji Yuan said, All right, child, the world is not as bad as you think. The family is not as cold as you think. Go home. He said it very calmly, but Sima Yue felt that the words go home contained the expectations and doting of an elder towards the younger generation. It turned out that her two uncles had been searching for so many years under their tacit approval. I need to think about it. She had just found out about some things that she didn't know before, so she needed to sort out her feelings. We can stay here for a few days. Sima Ji Yuan didn't let her make a decision immediately. He knew that if he forced her too much, it would be counterproductive. We will stay beside you for these few days. Are those houses still empty? One of them is empty. Wu Lingyu announced her rights. Sima Lu Yun and Sima Lu Feng wanted to say that they would stay beside her, but when they saw Sima Ji Yuan looking at them, they swallowed their words. Forget it. If they gave up their rooms, it would be good if Clan Master and the rest could get closer to Sima Yue. Then we will stay on the other side. Sima Ji Yuan was satisfied with their performance and said with a smile, Then it's decided. Yue, you don't mind, right? Sima Yue shrugged her shoulders. Up to you. Anyway, it wasn't her room that they were occupying, so she didn't care about these things. Shimin Feng didn't have any objections. This was Sima Yue's family. He wouldn't interfere. Since she didn't object, he would naturally support her. I'll get people to tidy up the rooms. Baida was good at observing the situation and immediately said to Sima Yue, All right, get people to tidy up and also tidy up a few rooms. Sima Yue ordered. All right, Junior Valley Master. All right, those people outside who said they want to see you, let them find an inn to stay in. Sima Lu Yun said, If they don't listen, tell them it's Clan Master who said it. All right, Valley Master, Vice Valley Master, I'll go and arrange it first. Baida said, Go and do your work. Sima family's Clan Master. What's Sima family's Clan Master? Call me great-grandfather? Sima Ji Yuan interrupted her. Sima Yue stared at him. Didn't he say he wouldn't force her? Sima Ji Yuan saw that she was unhappy and explained, No matter if you're willing to come back or not, the blood relationship between us can't be broken. Calling me great-grandfather doesn't mean you've returned to the family. Those people in the family can't call me great-grandfather. They can only call me Clan Master. If you don't believe me, you can ask them. Sima Lu Yun nodded, while Sima Lu Feng complained, Clan Master, you're so biased. You're our grandfather. Why don't you allow us to call you grandfather? Yue is still young. Are you guys young too? Sima Ji Yuan reprimanded, and Sima Lu Feng immediately became obedient, but he still muttered something silently. Sima Yue happened to be opposite him, and when she saw the way his lips moved, she pursed her lips and laughed. He complained, "Who didn't do it when they were young? It didn't work at that time, right? In the end, you're still biased." Sima Lu Yin didn't say anything, but his meaning was obvious. Lu Feng was right. "Old master, you're biased." Chapter 1289. For the next few days, Sima Yue stayed in her room and didn't go out much, only occasionally going out to accompany Sima Ji Yuan. Please search to see the most complete. Update the fastest. Originally, she wanted Sima Lu Feng and the others to accompany them, but the unrestrained Sima Lu Feng and the cold and arrogant Sima Lu Yun were extremely obedient in front of them. The indecent one was serious. The cold one wasn't cold anymore. They were like two obedient babies. However, Sima Ji Yuan did not like his own grandson and insisted that Sima Yue accompany him. Every time, he would use the excuse of increasing the relationship between the grandfather and grandson to prevent Sima Yue from rejecting him. But even so, she didn't spend much time with them. A few days later, she saw that Sima Ji Yuan and the others had no intention of leaving, so she unintentionally brought it up when they were tasting tea. "Great-grandfather, how are the family and the Gu family now?" She put the teacup in front of him with a pair of tongs and asked casually. "Since the Gu clan dared to play dirty tricks behind our backs, they naturally have to face our wrath. Now, the family is suppressing them. Sometimes there will be some fights, but it hasn't reached the point of life and death yet." Although Sima Ji Yuan had been in closed-door cultivation for a longer period of time, he was still rather familiar with the major matters of the clan. The Gu clan can be considered one of the aristocratic clans in the inner region, right? If there is a fight between the family and them, it will definitely not be a small matter. Are you not worried about leaving only the great elder in charge of the family? Sima Yue said. "You little girl, you want us to leave, don't you?" Sima Ji Yuan said, "I've been rather comfortable here for the past few days, so I don't want to leave. Why don't you guys go back first? Even if I go back, I'll still be in seclusion. Why don't I train outside? Who knows, it might even help me advance." Those elders didn't want to go back either. The head of the family wasn't around. If they went back, the matter would fall on their heads. They didn't want that. Although they resisted, they couldn't resist Sima Ji Yuan's threats and promises in the end. The few elders were all chased back, along with the other members of the Sima family, leaving only Sima Lu Feng and Sima Lu Yun behind. Bida came in from outside and saw Sima Yue and the others drinking tea. He quickly walked over and said, "Vice Valley Lord, Tuoba family head, and a few guild elders are here. Looking for me? Where are Feng, and the others?" Sima Yue asked. The Valley Lord brought Old Bai and the others out. The guild leader and the others said that it has been half a month since that incident. They wanted to come and take a look at your injuries. Bida said, "I understand. Tell them I'll be right out." Bida left again. Sima Yue looked at Sima Ji Yuan and the others, saying, "I'll go out for a while, you guys. Go ahead, don't worry about us." Sima Ji Yuan said, "I should be back soon." Sima Yue nodded at them and stood up to leave. Wu Lingyu stood up and wanted to go with her, but she was stopped by Sima Ji Yuan. "Lingyu, I heard that the tea you make is pretty good. Why don't you stay and drink some tea with us?" Sima Yue was stunned. "Why don't you stay and accompany great-grandfather?" Wu Lingyu immediately understood and sat back down, saying, "It's my honor to be able to drink tea with the head of the Sima family. Yue, you can go ahead." Sima Yue glanced at them, nodded, and turned to leave. Wu Lingyu sat down. Seeing that the tea was almost finished, she took out new tea leaves to make. "Sima family head, you asked me to stay because you have something to say, right?" Sima Ji Yuan looked at Wu Lingyu's unwavering gaze and said, "I heard about you and Yue. You are very talented and treat her well. However, you are the holy son of the Sage Pavilion. The relationship between the Sage Pavilion and the Sima family has never been good. Have you ever thought that you will bring trouble to her if you are together with her?" His tone was cold. It seemed that he did not approve of the two of them being together. Wu Lingyu smiled, saying, Why is the head of the Sima family so sure that I will bring trouble to her if I am together with her? Isn't that so? Or are you willing to give up your identity for her? Sima Lu Feng and Sima Lu Yun saw that the atmosphere between the two of them was not right, but they did not say anything. They also wanted to see what Wu Lingyu would say to them. On the other side, Sima Yue came to the front hall and saw Tuoba Hong Yi and a few other presidents drinking tea. Xiao Hong, Tuoba Han, and the other juniors were also there. She had put on her gloves and cloak before coming out. When she entered the hall, everyone only saw her figure. I'm sorry. I had to prepare, so I came late. I hope that the head of the Tuoba family and the other presidents will not be offended. She apologized the moment she entered. Everyone saw that her movements were nimble and her body should be fine. We just came to see how you are. Are your injuries healed? Xiaochang Tian asked. My injuries are almost healed, but my skin has not fully recovered. That's why I don't dare to see anyone. Sima Yue said casually. Seeing you like this, you should have recovered more or less. We were worried when we saw that you were injured. Now we are relieved. Xiao Hong said. They believed what she said without a doubt. They had seen her injuries that day. It was a miracle that she could survive. They were already surprised that she could recover in such a short period of time. If she were to say that she had recovered, they would be horrified. Sima Yue saw the sincere concern in Xiao Hong's eyes, and her heart felt warm. All right, is the matter with the passage settled? The Ghost Clan won't come over again, right? The passage has been sealed again. Those who were controlled have regained their consciousness. The matter has been settled successfully. Tuoba Hong Yi said, It's all thanks to you this time. If it wasn't for you, the human race would have faced a catastrophe. Shui Chonglin said, So other than coming to see you, we also want to express our gratitude. President Shui is too courteous. We are also part of the human race. Since we can help, we naturally can't refuse. Sima Yue said courteously. But for someone like you who almost lost your life, we can only watch from the outside. We let you take on such a huge responsibility at such a young age. Thinking about this, we old fellows feel guilty. Fong Ming said solemnly. President Fong's words are too much for you. Sima Yue waved her hand. If you say that again, I'll have to find a hole to hide in. Aya, don't be so courteous. Yue is a shy child. She'll be embarrassed if you continue to say that. Xiaochang Tian said, Since Yue has recovered, let's talk about serious matters. Right, let's talk about serious matters first. After saying that, everyone's gaze fell on her. This book came from. Chapter 1290. Sima Yue was shocked by their burning gazes and subconsciously shrunk back, asking, What do you guys want? Actually, it's nothing much. Xiaochang Tian chuckled. In order to repay your efforts in this matter, we would like to invite you to join the Guild Alliance. Sima Yue blinked her eyes. Join the Guild Alliance? What the hell was this? President, isn't the Alchemist Guild part of the Guild Alliance? Why do you want me to join on my own? She asked in confusion. This time, we are not inviting you as an honorary elder of the Alchemist Guild, but as an individual. Fong Ming said, We hope that you can join the Guild Alliance and take up the position of vice president. What? Sima Yue was stunned. You want me to be the vice president? President, did you guys make a mistake? This is the result of our discussion. Xiaochang Tian said, On one hand, it is to thank you for your efforts this time, but at the same time, we have other thoughts. He paused for a moment, thinking that she would follow his words, but she only looked at him, waiting for him to continue. Cough, cough, it's like this. You also know that the power is too mysterious, and you have the divine vermilion bird, which can truly command all the birds. This power added together is stronger than a few of our guilds combined. So we're thinking of whether we can borrow this power when the time comes. Xiaochang Tian was a little embarrassed as he spoke. He and Yue were familiar with each other, and knew that she usually would not use the power of the birds, but now they were thinking of this idea. But they had no choice. These few days they had gathered all the information that the various guilds had, and they were shocked to find out that there was not a single useful piece of information. From this, it could be seen that the power in the dark was very strong. Even the Guild Alliance might not be able to deal with them. It was also because of this that they thought of Sima Yue and the power behind her. Sima Yue did not think that they would think of this, so when she heard this news, she was stunned for a moment. They thought that she was hesitating because Xiaochang Tian had told them that Yue would never force the birds for personal matters. This matter is not entirely for our own good. Once this world is thrown into chaos by that force, the bird clan will not be spared. That's why we want them to join us, Feng Ming explained. It's not that I'm unwilling, I'm just a little surprised to hear this news. Sima Yue saw that they had misunderstood her and said, in the face of the big picture, I don't think the bird clan will reject us. Does that mean you agree? No. Sima Yue waved her hand. I'm willing to contribute to this matter. However, I think it's better if I don't take up the position of Vice Alliance leader. Don't worry, even if I'm just a small fry, I'll do my best. What a joke. Vice Alliance Master. How much responsibility would he have to bear if he became the Alliance Master? She didn't have that much time to deal with this. See, I was right. She won't accept it. Xiaochang Tian said. What status and power? These things couldn't tempt her at all. It's like this. Yue, this position of Vice Alliance leader isn't to keep you here for anything. It's just like your honorary elder position in the Alchemist Guild. It's just a title. You don't have to do anything usually. You just have to contribute when we need you. He Qindong said. Sima Yue blinked. How could there be such a good thing? I've already told them. If they want you to do anything here, you definitely won't accept it. Why don't we give you a title so that when we need you, it'll be perfectly justifiable? Xiaochang Tian said. Sima Yue pursed her lips. President, you're really direct. Although it's just a title of Vice Alliance leader, this is something only we know. To our members, you're still the Vice Alliance leader, so you still have the power to command them. Shuechang Lin added. You're giving me such a high position. Aren't you afraid that I'll abuse my power? Sima Yue was shocked at their trust in her. It's just a Vice Alliance leader. Compared to that, it's not much higher than your King of Birds. Xiangyang said. That seemed to be the case. Sima Yue thought for a while and said, before I joined the Alchemist Guild, I've already told the president that I have many personal matters to settle. If you want me to be the Vice Alliance leader, I'll still say the same thing. When I have matters to settle, you can't ask me to do things here first. That's natural. Since we said that you're just a title, we won't ask too much of you. He Qindong said. That's good. Then I'll accept it. Sima Yue smiled. This is your token. In the future, everyone will listen to your orders when they see this. He Qindong took out a token. The serving girl at the side went up to take the token and brought it to Sima Yue's side. Even the token had been prepared. It seemed like they had come prepared. Sima Yue took the token and looked at it. It was similar to a normal token. There was the word Alliance written on the front and Yue written on the back. It represented her status. This one is silver. The Alliance leader's token is gold. He Qindong said, drip a drop of blood on it first, then inject your spiritual energy into it. The token will remember your aura. In the future, even if this token is picked up by someone else, you can't use it. Sima Yue followed his instructions and dripped a drop of blood on it. Then, she injected her spiritual energy into it. After the blood and spiritual energy entered the token, a milky white light shone from the token and enveloped her. She felt as if there was some kind of connection between her and the token. This is... She looked at He Qindong in shock. This is a token that he's specially refined for you. It's much better than the few of us old fellows. Ours is only a low-grade divine tool. Yours is a high-grade one. Xiaochang Tian said faintly. High-grade divine tool. Sima Yue took a deep breath. It was just a token. Was there a need to make it so high and mighty? He Qindong nodded. In view of your situation, the one I refined for you has a defensive function. It can withstand 3 attacks of monarch rank and below. Although it might not be of much use to you, it's better than nothing. This can be considered my thanks to you. If it wasn't for her, Xiaohong would have been killed by the Ghost Clan. They might not have been able to survive. Although this thing wasn't of much use to her, she still kept it carefully to express her thanks. At this moment, Baida came in from outside. Vice Valley Lord, there's someone outside looking for you. Chapter 1291. More people came. She didn't seem to recognize anyone. Who came? Many came. All of them are the leaders of the bird clans. Please search to see the most complete. Vida said, they said they want to meet you and Master Qi Yin. Sima Yue was stunned. She contacted Qi Yin in the Spirit Pagoda and asked him if he wanted to meet them. Qi Yin was silent for a while, then said, I'll go out and meet them. You just wait here. Don't you need me to accompany you? Don't you have guests here? Sima Yue looked at the president and the rest. They immediately understood and said, we just came to check on your condition and tell you about this. Since we're almost done, and you have other things to do, we'll go back first. We're really sorry. Sima Yue didn't ask them to stay. It was Qi Yan's first time meeting the bird clans. She wanted to go with him. Then we'll go back first. We'll tell you about the alliance later. Shuichang Lin and the rest stood up. All right, I'll look for you when I'm better. Where are you leaving? Sima Yue asked as she sent them out. Shouldn't be too long. Xiaochang Tian said, when we've settled the alliance, we'll inform you. That's good too. I might have some other things to settle. It's best if you can tell me directly. Sima Yue was grateful for their understanding. You're injured so badly because of this, and you have so many things to settle. It's only right that we give you some convenience. Xiaochang Tian said, but Yue, you can't forget that you're a member of the Alchemist Guild, even if you're the vice president. Sima Yue saw the hidden bitterness in his eyes and giggled, saying, President, don't worry, I won't forget. That's good. All right, why didn't I see Guard Gao this time? Sima Yue thought about how Xiaochang Tian was so clingy to Gao Zhihong. She thought that he had something to do, but after not seeing him for so long, it was strange. I told him to investigate that power. Xiaochang Tian said. Sima Yue was surprised. Then who will be responsible for your safety? There are other guards. Xiaochang Tian said. Can the other guards protect you? Sima Yue was worried. If the people from that power knew about the alliance, they might do something to them. If the guards are not in place, their safety would be in danger. It shouldn't be a problem. Xiaochang Tian said. No matter how strong that power is, they wouldn't dare to cause trouble in the alliance. I hope so. Sima Yue pursed her lips. After they left, she was still worried and secretly sent a few scarlet bees to follow him. After Xiaochang Tian and the others left, Baita brought a group of people in. Sima Yue scanned the group. There were about 20 people. Greetings, Miss Yue. They bowed to Sima Yue. No matter how arrogant they were usually, no matter how much they looked down on humans, today they had to lower their status to the lowest. If it was said that the great golden-winged rock had just evolved and they could still choose to ignore her because of their seniority, then with the appearance of the vermilion bird, they could no longer avoid Sima Yue's position in the bird clan. You are. Sima Yue did not recognize any of them. We are the clan leaders of the bird clan. We were not here that day, but when we heard that you were injured, we came to pay our respects today. Please forgive us. I know that you are here to see Qi Yin today. Sima Yue said, Qi Yin, come out. When Qi Yin came out, the bird clan leaders could not withstand his pressure, and all of them knelt down. Greetings, Lord Divine Bird. Qi Yin looked coldly at the people on the ground and said, in the future, when you see her, you have to be as respectful as when you see me. Understand? Yes, we understand. Cold sweat appeared on the foreheads of the clan leaders. Although they had acknowledged Sima Yue's position, they were not very respectful because in their eyes, Sima Yue was still a junior. But they did not expect that this vermilion bird had angered Qi Yin, causing him to show them his power and emphasize Sima Yue's position. It seemed that they could not underestimate this little ancestor in the future. Qi Yin retracted his pressure and sat beside Sima Yue. You can all get up. The patriarchs stood up shakily. Just now, his pressure made them feel that in front of Qi Yin, he only needed to think about it, and they would die on the spot. Okay, you have seen me and know how to treat my contractor in the future. You can go back now, Qi Yin said. Sima Yue was speechless. After waiting for so long, he asked them to leave. The clan leaders were also surprised and did not move from their seats. Did Lord Divine Bird have to be so cold? Lord Divine Bird, when I have something to do, I will call you. You just need to leave your contact information in your place of residence. Qi Yin said. Although they really wanted to spend more time with Lord Divinebird, they couldn't resist Crimson Flame's will. In the end, those clan leaders had no choice but to leave. They were also ordered by Crimson Flame to convey his will. When Yu and he did not look for them, they were not to disturb their lives. Sima Yue felt that Qi Yan's attitude was really arrogant, but she did not expect that the clan leaders would all listen to him and leave. Qi Yan saw the surprise in Sima Yue's eyes. He took a sip of her tea and said, "This is the world of ranks. You will get used to it." "That is my teacup," Sima Yue protested. "Anyway, your Wu Lingyu is no longer here. He won't say anything." Qi Yin said indifferently, "Don't you have mysophobia? I'm used to it." Qi Yin took another sip before putting down the teacup and returning to the spirit pagoda. Sima Yue saw that he went back on his own initiative and sighed that it was good to have power. Speaking of which, if Qi Yin wanted to retaliate, she would not be able to do anything. Fortunately, he did not have that thought. Now that everyone had left, she took a breath and left the living room. She did not know what was going on in the backyard. When she walked out of the courtyard, she heard that her great-grandfather and Wu Lingyu's conversation did not seem to be very harmonious. However, no matter what, he was still her great-grandfather. Although he had her grandfather's approval, he still had to go through her immediate family. She thought that she would see an awkward scene when she returned, but she did not expect to see a happy and harmonious scene when she returned to the backyard. The four of them were drinking tea and chatting happily. It was not the scene she imagined at all. She remembered that when she left, she faintly heard her great-grandfather questioning him. How did it get better in such a short time? This guy was really resourceful. This book came from. Chapter 1292. Later on, some people came to Sima Yue, but she rejected them all with the reason that she had not fully recovered. She didn't know where these people came from, so she didn't have the time to deal with them. Although Sima Jiyuan felt that there were benefits to having a good relationship with these powers, his own great-granddaughter didn't like it, so he didn't say anything. A few days later, Shimin Feng brought by Sheng and the rest back. "Feng, where did you guys go?" Sima Yue walked over and asked when she saw Shimin Feng entering the courtyard. "I made a trip to Fair Eastern City to take stock of the losses there." Shimin Feng said, "I thought it would be done in a few days. You were busy, so I didn't tell you." "What's the situation?" Sima Yue asked. Every industry suffered some losses, but they weren't very serious. The most serious one is the spirit cloth shop. Because of the corrosion of ghost chi, all of it can't be used anymore. "Where are the personnel?" "More than a dozen employees died. We've already comforted their families. As for the others, because they were controlled, their mental strength was damaged and they can't work for the time being. I've already sent them back to Heartbreak Valley. As for the business in Fair Eastern City, I've asked them to temporarily close for a few days to replenish their supplies. We'll wait for the valley to send someone over to reopen." "Well, it's not like we're lacking in that. We can start after everything is arranged." Sima Yue said, "What about Lu Yongkai and Old Bai?" "I told them to go back and rest. They've been busy these past few days." Shimin Feng replied, "When they're done resting, I'll call them over to discuss something." Sima Yue said, "Are we going to deal with the Yinyang Palace and the Zhongzheng clan?" Shimin Feng asked. "What do you think?" Sima Yue asked. Shimin Feng tucked her hair behind her ear and said, "The valley has already prepared it, but leave it to us to handle. You just got injured, so don't worry about it." Sima Yue could feel the doting and fear in his words. She smiled and said, "My injuries have healed. You know that. Although I can see that your injuries have healed, but when I close my eyes, the image of you being struck by lightning still appears in my mind." Shimin Feng's voice was somewhat trembling. Sima Yue could see the fear in his eyes. She knew that this incident had scared him to death. He had been worried that he would lose her for the past few days. She grabbed his hand and looked into his eyes. "Don't worry. Since I've been reborn, I won't let myself die so easily. If it wasn't for Ling Yu's help that day, would you have been able to hold on until the end?" Thinking back to the scene that day, he still felt a chill in his heart. Of course. It's just that the situation will be a little worse. Sima Yu continued. Cloud Spirit and I are so close, it won't really kill me. No matter what, you just need to have a good rest. Just leave the matters of the valley to us. Shimin Feng said, what you need to do now is to have a good rest. Don't worry about anything else. I'll update you with the latest news. Sima Yue shrugged when she saw how determined he was. All right then. If the matters here are settled, we'll go back to Heartbreak Valley. How are you going to deal with this? Shimin Feng glanced at Sima Ji Yuan's room. To be honest, I don't know either. Sima Yue said, I don't know what the Sima family is like, so I can't make a decision for the time being. I think we'll talk about it after we find father. I think the Sima family's patriarch's attitude seems to be very determined. Shimin Feng hesitated for a moment and changed his rashness into determination. I think the people of Heartbreak Valley are very loving. If it's just a cold family, then I'm definitely willing to be with the brothers in the valley. Sima Yue didn't care if Sima Ji Yuan in the room could hear her or not. Or rather, she wanted to use this opportunity to express her thoughts. Sima Ji Yuan in the room frowned. This little brat still had a deep grudge against the family. It seemed that there was still a long way to go before he could let her go home. Sima Yue and Shimin Feng were chatting happily when they suddenly felt a fluctuation in the air. Both of them looked over cautiously. Wu Lingyu and Sima Ji Yuan in the room also came out. Who is it? Black fog seeped out of the air and slowly formed into a human figure. That person came in front of Sima Yue and knelt down. Your subordinate greets young Mississippi. Someone from the Ghost Clan? Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. Yes, your subordinate is from the Imperial Guards. My name is Di Wu. That man said. Di Wu, Di Lu's brother? Sima Yue asked. Young Miss is indeed smart. Di Lu said that I definitely can't hide it from young Miss for even a minute. The man smiled. I didn't expect you to be one of the leaders of the Imperial Guards. Get up quickly. Sima Yue raised her hand. Di Wu got up and took out a token. The token shone brightly in his hand, proving that he was indeed the owner of the token. Deja had once told her that she could only trust people who came to her with this kind of token. Did cousin ask you to come? Did something happen to him in the ghost realm? Sima Yue asked. Master asked me to come, but it's not because something happened to him. It's because young Miss caused quite a commotion in the ghost realm. So Master specially asked me to tell young Miss not to go to the ghost realm in the near future. Di Wu said, Me? Yes. Young Miss made use of the lightning tribulation to kill many people from the ghost clan. Among them were some disciples of aristocratic families and sect geniuses. So many people in the ghost realm are making a ruckus, requesting the Ghost King to send troops to suppress you. Di Wu said, This human realm isn't a place that one can come and go as they please, right? Sima Yue said, Normal people can't come over, but if there's something to help, people like me can come too. Di Wu continued, If they send someone more powerful to assassinate you, it's quite dangerous. So Master reminded young Miss to be on guard against the assassination from the Ghost Clan. Go back and tell him that I'll be careful. Sima Yue said, Master didn't ask me to go back. Di Wu said, Didn't ask you to go back. Ask you to stay? Yes, Master asked me to stay and protect young Mississippi. Everyone in the courtyard was silent. Shimin Feng looked at Di Wu and said, If they really send someone to assassinate you, you can't stop them, right? You'll bring us trouble if you stay. As long as I restrain my aura, even a monarch rank expert won't be able to discover me. Di Wu continued, and I'm more sensitive to the aura of the Ghost Clan. If any Ghost Clan comes close, I'll be able to discover them immediately. Are you a dog? Sima Yue said. Young Miss is so smart. My original form is a hellhound. Di Wu said proudly. Sima Yue was speechless. She was just teasing him. How would she know that he was a dog? Chapter 1293. But it was just a thought she did not say out loud. Moreover, this hellhound was not an ordinary dog. He would be sad if she said it like that. I really don't need you to follow me. She was not used to strangers following her. It would be inconvenient for her to do many things. But if I don't follow you, I can't go back. Diwu looked at Sima Yue with an aggrieved face. Can't go back? What do you mean? I used a one-way tunnel to come here. I can only come from that side, and not from here. Diwu said. Sima Yue's face turned black. Cousin asked you to do this, right? Miss is so smart. Lingyu, can you send it back to Ghost Realm? Sima Yue turned her gaze to Wu Lingyu. Yes. Wu Lingyu nodded. Don't, miss. If you send me back, I will be mocked to death by them. Diwu shouted. If that's the case, I might as well just die in the human realm. Weren't ghost clans people more sinister? What's with this silly look? Why was this Diwu so different from the calm Dilu? Diwu, it's really not suitable for you to follow me. Sima Yue said, I have many things to do. I won't be able to do them well with you by my side. Miss, just ignore me. I won't speak, make any noise, or cause any trouble. I will only help you to check if there's any danger around. I won't disturb you. Diwu said. Sima Yue realized that this fella had the potential to make her speechless. Why didn't he understand what she said? She did not mind having another person by her side, but she had her own secrets. But this fella did not seem to understand what she meant. He even looked as though he would stay quiet. Do you want to make a move? Wu Lingyu asked. You? Sima Yue looked at Diwu's pitiful look. The words make a move were stuck in her throat. Who taught this guy how to act cute? Diwu saw that Sima Yue's heart softened. He quickly stuck close to her and giggled. Young mistress, don't worry. I'll definitely be a quiet and handsome man. Sima Yue glanced at him. His facial features were indeed decent, but his baby face and those mischievous eyes completely betrayed him. I think it's better to send him back. Shimin Feng said, We've just settled the matter with the Ghost Clan. If people find out that you're with the Ghost Clan now, I'm afraid it'll attract some trouble. Diwu looked at Shimin Feng with resentment. Miss didn't even want to marry him, but this guy was still instigating him. How could he be so evil? I also agree with Feng. The ghost race had just caused such a huge commotion, causing the people of the continent to hate the ghost race even more. Even if you had saved them, their hatred towards the Ghost Clan would not be reduced. Instead, they'll blame you. Sima Zhiyuan had seen more and understood people's hearts more. Sima Yue looked at Diwu with a smile and said, See, I'm not the only one who said no. It's really not suitable for you to stay. I don't care. I'm not going back. I want to follow you. Diwu said, If I go back, I won't have the face to see anyone in the future. When Baida came in, he saw a person he had never seen before acting coquettishly towards Sima Yue. He didn't know if he was acting coquettishly or shamelessly. Valley Lord, Vice Valley Lord. This is Old Bai. Can you sense his aura? Sima Yue asked. Baida sensed for a while and said, I can't sense it. Which family's young master is this? You can't sense the Ghost Clan's aura on him? He's from the Ghost Clan? Valley Lord, why would someone from the Ghost Clan come here? Baida was astonished. He really couldn't tell that this person was from the Ghost Clan. Sima Yue was astonished. She thought this guy was bragging just now. She didn't expect him to be so capable. Let's try again. Sima Yue said, Go and call Old Bai and the rest over to try. Don't tell them beforehand. Okay. Baida turned and was about to leave when he suddenly remembered his purpose of coming in. He turned back and said, Vice Valley Lord, someone from the Divinator sect requests to see you. Divinator sect? Is Lin here? Sima Yue froze. It's not Master Lin. It's a very young man. She said he's called Xiao Tong. Baida said, Xiao Tong is here? Where is he? He's waiting in the living room. Baida didn't know why Sima Yue was so agitated. I'll go over directly. Bring Old Bai and the rest over to experiment. After Sima Yue finished speaking, she abandoned the people in the courtyard and ran away. That's right. She ran away. This had never happened before. This girl has never been so agitated when she saw me. Sima Zhiyuan was unhappy, jealous, and resentful. She has never been so agitated when she saw me. Wu Lingyu agreed. You don't get this treatment either? Sima Zhiyuan felt a little better. It seemed like he wasn't the only one who got this treatment. All right, why did the Divinator sect come to find her? They should be here to tell her news about her father. Wu Lingyu was guessing. but his tone was certain. What did you say? Sima Jiyuan was also agitated. The divinator sect will really tell her news about little Xian? Sima family's head doesn't know. Wu Lingyu saw that he was so surprised and said, Yin Lin told Sima Yue to look for clean water in the immortal land. If she found it, he would tell her news about her father. After she came out, Yin Lin said that the time wasn't right. I think it should be because her spiritual energy was sealed at that time. Now that her spiritual energy is back, I guess he is here to tell her the news. Sima Ji Yuan's face darkened. I actually didn't know about such an important thing. Didn't the two uncles tell you? Wu Lingyu said unintentionally. Those two bastards. They didn't even tell me about such an important thing. Watch me teach them a lesson. Sima Jiyuan walked towards Sima Lufeng's house after he finished speaking, to find someone to teach them a lesson. Wu Lingyu laughed unkindly. You guys didn't help me put in a good word, and even hit me when I was down. You guys will suffer this time. This move, it's ruthless. I'm afraid the two uncles will be taught a lesson by the old master for a long time. Shimin Feng said, Did they offend you? No. Wu Lingyu said so, but his expression showed that he didn't think so. Diwu, who was at the side, was confused, but he could see that Wu Lingyu wasn't someone to be trifled with. It was better not to provoke him in the future. Sima Yue came to the living room. As expected, she saw a little helper sitting there alone waiting for her. Little helper, did your master ask you to send me the news? Chapter 1294. Seeing her anxious look, the child smiled and said, Yes. What did your master say? Where's my father? Sima Yue asked anxiously. Sister Yue, don't be anxious. My master said that he will only tell you when everyone is here. Xiao Tong's indifferent look really resembled his master, who deserved a beating. Isn't this my own business? Why do we need everyone here? Sima Yue was confused. My master said that because you have given us too much, we must repay you. Originally, we were only supposed to give you information about your father, but now, we're going to help you rescue your father. That's why I want to go with you. Xiao Tong said, Aren't you not allowed to participate in these matters? Will it bring you any trouble if I get involved? Sima Yue asked worriedly. Big sister Yue, master said that I changed my future because of you. If I don't return it to you, I won't be able to retire and will hinder my future development. Little helper said, Also, master told me that this trip will be more daunting than dangerous. I won't die. Sima Yue was relieved to hear that. She asked, Who is the person you're waiting for? One is me, and the other is already here. There's another one on the way. You should be arriving soon. Little helper said, One is already here? Who is it? It's that ghost in your backyard. Little helper said, Diwu, why do you want him to come along? Sima Yue asked curiously. Master said that he would be of great use in that place. Little helper said. Sima Yue calculated in her heart. It seemed like the timing of Di Wu's arrival wasn't a coincidence. And the other man you spoke of? She asked. The other person is your old friend. Master sent someone to look for him, and he has already agreed to come and help. Little helper said, My old friend? Who is it? Sima Yue thought for a while. Her only old friends were Qin Mo and Third Mo. Of course it's me. Third Mo's voice came from outside. Then, that unrestrained figure walked in. Shameless Third, it's really you. Sima Yue looked at Third Mo in surprise. Of course. Third Mo walked over and patted her shoulder. How can I not come when you have something on? Hee, thank you. Sima Yue punched Third Mo's chest with her fist. She turned to look at Xiao Tong and asked, But why must he come along? Master said that he is the best at searching for spirits. Only with him can we guarantee your father's rescue. The little helper said, Seeking spirits? I could do that too. Since Master said so, he naturally has his reasons. The little helper said, All right, then why do we need Di Wu as well? Sima Yue asked. With it, we can go to that place. My father is in the ghost realm. You can say so. The little helper continued. Do you know that there's actually a place where the ghost realm and the human realm intersect? Sima Yue frowned. Why hadn't she heard of this place? Ghost City? Third Mo said, Yes. Isn't that a place in legends? No, it's real. the little helper continued. But because it's not here, people don't know about it. Where exactly is the ghost city? At the place where the human realm and the ghost realm intersect. The little helper continued. I don't know the exact location. You said this just now. Third MO continued. Where exactly is the place where the human realm and the ghost realm intersect? I don't know either. The little helper shrugged with an innocent look. You're a divinator? Your master is Enlin. How can you not know? Third MO stared at the little helper. Master didn't say where it is. He only said that the ghost clan knows. The little helper said, then let's call that ghost clan over and ask. Wait a minute. Sima US stopped the two of them. Since when did the ghost realm and the human realm intersect? Didn't the soul automatically go to the ghost realm after death? But the people from the ghost realm can't come over? If there's a place where they intersect, why would something like this happen in Fair Eastern City? That's because, although the ghost city is the place where the human realm and the ghost realm intersect, it's harder than ascending to heaven to come out from there. The ghost clan would rather choose a method like Fair Eastern City than to come from the ghost city. Third MO said, why? There's a good path. Why must they use such a method? There's a lightning tribulation guarding there. And a human clan? The little helper explained. Then let's find another way. Sima US said. It was almost impossible for the ghost clan to pass through the lightning tribulation. Not to mention that even if they passed through the lightning tribulation, there were still humans guarding outside. Seeing the injured ghost clan, the human clan went up to kill them. It's not that no one has come here before. It's just that it's extremely rare in history. Then can the human clan pass through there freely? Sima Yua asked. If the human clan wants to go over, they still have to go through the lightning tribulation. The little helper continued. However, the ghost clan would still dig some passageways from time to time. But if the living human clan wants to go to the ghost realm, they can only go through there. No matter where the person died, the soul would automatically enter the ghost realm. But if the living wanted to enter the ghost realm, they could only go through the ghost city. That's why Father wanted to go to the ghost realm to find Mother back then. So he went to the ghost city. But how did he know the address of the ghost city? Sima Yua had some doubts. But this question could only be answered when they found him. If your parents really wanted to go through this place to find your mother, then they might be trapped there. Third MO continued. Although your two uncles have been looking for him for so long, if they don't know about the ghost city, then naturally they wouldn't be able to find him. It's highly possible. Sima Yue continued. Follow me. We'll ask Di Wu where the ghost city is. We'll also ask the uncles if they know about the ghost city. The three of them went to the backyard. Bai Sheng, Feng Kai, and the rest were all there. They were circling around Di Wu while rubbing their chins. Is he really from the ghost clan? Why can't I sense any aura from him? Di Wu smiled proudly. Sima Yue walked over and said, Di Wu, you can stay. Really? Young miss, you agree? Di Wu was so happy that he danced for joy. Shimin Feng and the rest were curious about Sima Yue's sudden change. Why did she change after going out for a trip? I agree. Sima Yue continued. But I have a request. Young miss, as long as you don't chase me back, not to mention one, even 8 or 10 wouldn't be a problem. If you want to follow me, then you have to listen to me. If I say 1, you can't say 2. If I say east, you can't go west. If I say stop, you can't walk. Can you do that? This book came from. Chapter 1295. Di Wu was stunned when he heard Sima Yue's request. Sima Yue's face darkened. Why? You can't do it? If you can't do it, then go back. No, it's not impossible. Di Wu quickly denied. I'm just surprised. What are you surprised about? When I came here, Master had told me that I must listen to Mrs. Words. If you say 1, I will not say 2. If you tell me to go east, I will not go west. I'm just surprised that Mrs. Words are the same as Master's. Di Wu said. Cousin said so too? Sima Yue felt warmth in her heart. Since Cousin said so, will you be obedient? Of course I'll listen to Miss. If you say 1, I won't say 2. If you tell me to go east, I won't go west. Di Wu said. You said it yourself. Sima Yue said. And N. Diwu nodded, indicating that he would definitely be obedient. Great-granddaughter, why did you let him follow you again? Sima Ji Yuan didn't approve of it. The ghost clan was a hidden danger by her side. Shimin Feng and Sima Luyan also looked at her disapprovingly. Great-grandfather, don't worry, I have a use for him. Sima Yue said. Xiao Tong said that only he can lead us to father. What? Really? Everyone looked at little helper and Diwu. Could he bring them to her father? Great-granddaughter, are you sure? If you don't believe Xiao Tong, you should believe his master, Yin Lin. Sima Yue said. Then where's your father now? Sima Lu Feng asked. Ghost City. Sima Yue said. Diwu, do you know where Ghost City is? Ghost City. Diwu almost jumped up from the shock. It seems like you know about it. Sima Yue said. You know how to get there, right? Diwu's expression turned ugly. He looked at Sima Yue with difficulty and said, Miss, this Ghost City isn't an ordinary place. Do you really want to go? You have to go, Sima Yue said firmly. But that place is very dangerous. My father is trapped there. Sima Yue said, You just said that you would listen to me. Diwu was silent. Great-granddaughter, is your father really in Ghost City? Sima Ji Yuan's eyebrows were furrowed. It seemed like he knew about Ghost City. Patriarch, you know about Ghost City? Sima Lu Feng asked. I've heard of it before, but I always thought that it was just a legend. Sima Ji Yuan said. I didn't think that he would actually go to that place. Where is that? Sima Luyan asked. After so many years of searching, if they couldn't find the right direction, then wouldn't it be useless? That's the place where the human realm and the ghost realm intersect, but not many people know about it. Sima Ji Yuan said, Even I thought that it was just a legend. I didn't think that it really exists. How was that place dangerous? Sima Lu Feng asked. The people who live there are all dark spirit masters, or people from the ghost clan. You can imagine what life is like there. Most people who go there don't come out alive. Diwu said. They are all dark attribute spirit masters. I also heard it from Master. Master said that he heard it from your mother. Diwu said. As for where your mother found out about it, I don't know. There's no way out? Sima Yue felt a little heartache for her father. Since he knew about that place, he definitely knew how dangerous it was. Even so, in order to find her mother, he had to go there without hesitation. Yue, when are you going? We want to go too. Sima Lu Feng said. That place is very dangerous. It might not be a good thing if there are too many people. Diwu said, You guys aren't dark attribute spirit masters. You might cause trouble if you go. But if only a few of you go, we won't be at ease. Sima Ji Yuan disagreed. Why don't you let us go to the little realm? Sima Lu Feng said. If we don't follow you, we won't be at ease. Sima Yue was silent for a while, then said, That's fine too. I'll go with you too. Shimin Feng said. Sima Yue shook her head, saying, Feng, and the people from Heartbreak Valley can't go. Why? You guys still have your own things to do. I don't know how long I'll be gone this time. Heartbreak Valley needs you guys to hold down the fort. We can start devouring their economy. Sima Yue said, If you guys go, who will do all this? But I'm worried. Shimin Feng said. There are people from Bloodfiend City with me. What's there to be worried about? Sima Yue said. But, Foma, don't worry, I'll be fine. Sima Yue said, We need you for the things here. Shimin Feng saw her determined attitude and could only agree in the end. Then be careful. We'll wait for you to come back in Heartbreak Valley. Don't worry, I'll go back. Sima Yue said. Shimin Feng looked at Wu Lingyu, saying, You have to protect her well. Of course. I want to go too. Sima Ji Yuan said. No. Sima Yue rejected immediately. Why? Sima Ji Yuan was hurt. Why did she reject him immediately? Sima Yue saw his big reaction, went forward and held his hand, smiling. Great-grandfather, we don't know how long we'll be delayed in Ghost City. You're the patriarch of the family. There are so many things going on in the family now. If you go, what if something big happens and we can't find you? This was the first time Sima Yue was close to him. That kind of closeness made him happy, but her words made him unhappy. Patriarch, I also think it's not appropriate for you to go. Sima Lu Feng said. Seeing Sima Ji Yuan staring over, he shrunk his neck. Patriarch, The matter between the family and the Gu family has reached its climax, right? Sima Luyan said. You two brats. Sima Zhiyuan was furious. Why did these two fellows follow Sima Yuyue and not let him go? Patriarch, we're just speaking the truth. Sima Luyan had a certain amount of resistance to his pressure. He didn't shrink back like Sima Lufeng. Sima Zhiyuan knew that the time wasn't right, but he still wanted to go together. But seeing that Yu Yu wasn't willing, he sighed and said, All right, but you can't go just like that. Then how are we going to go? Sima Lufeng asked. Go to one side and stay there. Sima Zhiyuan glared at him again. He turned around and continued, I'll get Xiu Qi and the others to come with you. Sima Lufeng and Sima Luyun were surprised. Uncle and the others are back. Who is Xiu Qi? Sima Yue asked. Your grandfather, Sima Xiu Qi. This book came from. Chapter 1296. It was Sima Yue's first time hearing about her grandfather. She was shocked. None of them had mentioned her grandfather before. She thought they were no longer in this world. Now that she suddenly heard their news, she was still a little stunned. Grandpa and Grandma. Sima Yue frowned slightly. Do you want them to go with us? They have been searching for Lu Xian outside. I can contact them and ask them to come here. Sima Zhiyuan said, I'm worried about letting these two little fellows accompany you. Two little guys, Sima Lufeng and Sima Luyun, were speechless, but they couldn't refute. Ahem. Sima Yue tried her best to suppress her emotions so that she would not laugh out loud. These two little fellows were already a few hundred years old. To be called little fellows by others, they probably hadn't experienced it for a long time. Cough, cough. Patriarch, how long will it take for Uncle and the rest to get here? Sima Luyun changed the topic. I haven't told them about Yue. If they knew that you were back, they would have rushed back immediately, let alone knowing where your father is. Sima Zhiyuan said. Grandfather, grandfather. Sima Yue thought of Sima Lai. They had been in closed-door cultivation recently because they felt that they were unable to keep up with her pace. They wanted to be with her because their love for her made them not want to hold her back. To be honest, she knew that she would be a little afraid of unfamiliar feelings, just like how she was against Sima Luyun and Sima Lufeng in the beginning, and how she would subconsciously refute Sima Zhiyuan's words when she saw him. However, after interacting with them for real, she would quickly accept them because she had slowly accepted these feelings. Now, there was another person who was related to her by blood but had never met before. She didn't know if she could handle it well. Sima Luyun patted her shoulder and said, If Uncle and Aunt knew that you're back, they would be very happy. Don't worry. Yes, Sima Yue responded softly. She was looking forward to the arrival of her grandparents, but she was also worried. While she was waiting, she wanted Shimin Feng and others to go back earlier, but they insisted that she should go back after she left, and at the same time meet her grandparents. Sima Yue wanted Fatty Chu and the rest to go back because they were not strong enough. If they went back, they would be in danger. This made them feel very depressed. The distance between them was really getting further and further. But in the end, they still followed along, but promised to stay in the Spirit Pagoda. While she was waiting, the Union sent her some news and told her some news about the Union Alliance. Today, she and Wu Lingyu were enjoying a rare moment together in the courtyard. Shimin Feng, Bai Sheng, and the others went out to deal with Heartbreak Valley's matters, and Sima Zhiyuan also brought the two little guys out. In order to follow her and catch up with her, Fatty Chu and the rest had already found an excuse to go into closed-door cultivation in the Spirit Pagoda. The two of them chatted casually as they sipped their tea. How rare. I finally have time to be alone. Sima Yue saw him complaining and pursed her lips into a smile. This guy finally couldn't hold it in anymore. Wu Lingyu saw her smile and pursed his lips slightly, saying, Don't you think so? It'll be fine after a while. Sima Yue chuckled. There are many people now, so I neglected you. Don't be calculative. Calculative? Wu Lingyu's body leaned forward. He was originally sitting beside Sima Yue, so in this way, this person leaned towards her. His mouth breathed softly in her ear, his voice bewitching. I'm not calculative. I hope you can find your parents soon. Then we can get married earlier, and I can eat you earlier. Sima Yue couldn't help but blush. She reached out and pushed his head away, changing the topic, asking, when you see grandfather and the rest, do you have to pass another test? That's really not something I like to do. Wu Lingyu was pushed away by her, so he leaned forward again and played with her fingers with his slender fingers. Sima Yue was too lazy to push him away this time, so she allowed him to play with her fingers. Speaking of which, how did you deal with great-grandfather last time? I remember that when I left, the two of you were still at loggerheads. When I returned, the two of you were already talking and laughing together. This is a little secret between men. There was such a thing as a little secret between men. I remember that grandfather and my brothers didn't like you very much back then, but they accepted you later. Is this also your little secret? Your great-grandfather is much more difficult to deal with than your grandfather and your brothers. I believe that it won't be so easy for you to deal with my parents. Sima Yue laughed. It's troublesome to have too many relatives. Wu Lingyu said, look, it's so good to be like me. I don't have any relatives, so you don't have to face so many things. And the only one I'm related to is Master. But that old man likes you more than me. Maybe he'll stand on your side and test me when the time comes. Master has been gone for so many years. Are we really not going to look for him? Sima Yue played with the teacup with her other hand. She was worried about old man Devil's safety. His life, Jade, is fine. Even if he doesn't find him, he won't have a bad life. Wu Lingyu said, when Master comes back, Senior Uncle and the others will definitely flip out. He's been ignoring the matters in the valley for so long. Sima Yue said, he's always been like that. The people in the valley are already used to it. Wu Lingyu said, if you're worried about him, you can contact your Aunt Foam. Her soul imprint is different from others. You can contact her directly. Previously, it was her subordinates who sent people to get the pills. Unless it's absolutely necessary, I don't want to contact Aunt Foam. I always feel that once I contact her, I'll enter another world that I don't know about. I don't think I'm ready to enter that world yet. Sima Yue said, that's true. It's indeed a little early for you to know. Wu Lingyu said, sometimes I really feel that I'm too weak. I'm so far away from your world. I've tried my best to improve myself. I want to enter your world as soon as possible, but I realize that it's still so far away. Sima Yue said sadly, you've already improved at lightning speed. Wu Lingyu said, I'll wait for you in front. You can walk over slowly. I'll keep up with your footsteps. Sima Yue said. She turned her head and looked at the beautiful face leaning on her shoulder with a face full of attachment. She helplessly rolled her eyes. You are a dignified devil king of the devil realm. Is it really okay for you to do this? Chapter 1297. Although her words were full of disdain, the expression on her face was full of affection. I like the smell on your body. Wu Lingyu did not feel embarrassed at all. If your subordinates find out about this, the image that you have built up over hundreds of thousands of years will be destroyed. The image that I've built up over the years will also be destroyed. Sima Yue said playfully as she stretched out a hand and flicked his forehead. Wu Lingyu sat up straight, took her hand, and pulled her into his arms. Sima Yue took the opportunity to sit on his lap. She leaned back and leaned on him. He hugged her and rested his head on her shoulder. Yu. Sima Yue waited for a while, but he did not say anything. She turned to look at him. What happened? It's nothing. That's not like you. Sima Yue played with his fingers. Are you worried about meeting my grandparents or the upcoming trip to Ghost City? If possible, I really hope you don't go to Ghost City. It's too dangerous there. Wu Lingyu said, but I know that it's impossible for you not to go now. Sima Yue turned around and placed her hands on his shoulders. You weren't this worried about what I wanted to do in the past. What happened this time? Ghost City is not a place that humans can easily touch. Wu Lingyu said, I have a feeling that I will fall into a coma again and lose my power. What if I can't protect you if you are there? However, Sima Yue's attention was not on this. She grabbed his hand to check and asked, was the last time you fainted in Wonderland? Wu Lingyu hesitated for 2 seconds. She stared sharply into his eyes and said, "You even fainted in between?" Wu Lingyu pulled his hand away and said, "Don't worry. It'll only happen once or twice." Something's not right. Sima Yue grabbed his hand again and examined it. "When have I ever lied to you? It really happened once or twice." Wu Lingyu saw that she was a little flustered and smiled. "I'm not saying that this is wrong," Sima Yue said. "Logically speaking, your soul should have fused better after you went into hibernation. But why is your soul weaker than the last time I checked your pulse?" "I'm just a little bit weaker. You even noticed that. Your medical skills are getting better and better," Wu Lingyu said. Sima Yue held his face with both hands, preventing him from turning around. She said sternly, "Don't try to fool me. Tell me, when did it start?" 2 years after I went to the devil world," Wu Lingyu answered honestly. "What did you experience in the demon realm?" "Actually, it's nothing. It's all about fighting and killing and recruiting. You injured your soul back then," Sima Yue said. "Or rather, it's because of your soul that you were injured, and then your soul was injured." She became more and more agitated as she spoke. Her hands that were grabbing onto him were trembling, and her eyes were filled with self-blame. Wu Lingyu wrapped one hand around her waist and caressed her face with the other, saying, "It's all right. Don't blame yourself. I'm fine. If you didn't cancel the contract because of me, how would it?" Sima Yue's eyes turned red. "If I had caused you to be injured, I would blame myself for the rest of my life," Wu Lingyu said. "Moreover, a man shouldn't let a woman get hurt because of a man." But these words were completely useless to her. Apart from blaming herself, she was also trying to recall if there were any similar situations in the medical books that she had studied before. Wu Lingyu tightened his grip on her waist and pulled her consciousness back. He covered her lips and nibbled lightly as punishment for her disobedience. But once he touched her lips, he couldn't control himself and wanted to take more. Only by letting himself go deeper could he comfort himself with his current thoughts. "Oh, someone's coming." Sima Yue felt someone walking towards the courtyard and tapped his shoulder lightly. Wu Lingyu left her lips, and their lips parted, leaving behind an ambiguous silver thread. "I really want to do you on the spot." He pressed his forehead against hers, his voice hoarse because he was suppressing himself. Sima Yue patted his shoulder and got off him, saying, "All right, someone's really coming." Wu Lingyu pulled her hand and let her sit in her seat. The tea on the table had already turned cold. Sima Yue waved her hand, and the tea set disappeared, and a new set appeared in its place. While she was still boiling the water, Sima Zhiyuan walked in with an unfamiliar man and woman. Once they saw Sima Yue, the two of them quickened their pace and walked over. "Looks like your grandfather and parents are here. Do you need me to leave?" Wu Lingyu asked. "No need. You have to see them anyway," Sima Yue said. "Patriarch, is this Xian Er's child?" The woman came in front of Sima Yue and looked at her excitedly, not knowing what to do. "Child, I'm your grandmother." Grandmother. Sima Yue glanced at Sima Zhiyuan subconsciously. Seeing that he didn't deny it, she knew that these two people were indeed her grandfather and grandmother. "Yue, my child." Huang Yingying stepped forward and hugged Sima Yue. After a while, she let go of her and touched her face. Her lips trembled. "Although you look like your mother, you still resemble your father a little." Sima Yue was touched by the warmth in her eyes. All along, most of her family members were men. Although there were third mother and auntie, they were not direct blood relatives. Now that she saw Huang Yingying, she felt different. "Yue, this is your grandfather." Huang Yingying pulled Sima Xiuqi, who hadn't opened his mouth since he came in, and introduced him to her. Sima Yue looked at Sima Xiuqi. Her real grandfather was indeed handsome. She had never seen her father before and didn't know if he looked like him. However, he looked quite similar to Sima Zhiyuan, but he looked much more serious than her great-grandfather. He didn't have much of a smile on his face. If it wasn't for the joy in his eyes, she would have thought that he was unhappy with her. "Grandfather," she called out, "don't pull a long face. Yue is about to be frightened by you." The only person who dared to scold Sima Xiuqi like this was his father. Seeing that Sima Yue was indeed a little frightened, He eased the expression on his face and tugged the corner of his mouth. It's good that you're back. What an elder's way of greeting her. Sima Yue pulled him over. Grandfather, grandmother, let me introduce you. This is my senior brother Wu Lingyu, the holy son of the Sage Pavilion. He is also my boyfriend. Sima Xiuqi's originally calm face was immediately filled with anger after hearing the last sentence. He stared at Wu Lingyu and said, Boyfriend? Chapter 1298. Don't be so surprised. He's a boyfriend. He's someone who will be married in the future. Sima Ji Yuan said. I can guess what that means. Sima Xiuqi stared at Sima Yoyue's hand that was holding onto Wu Lingyu's arm. His gaze seemed to want to drill a hole through Wu Lingyu's arm. Wu Lingyu? Come here. Wu Lingyu stepped forward. Sima Yue saw that Sima Xiuqi's expression was ugly and subconsciously pulled his arm. It's okay. Wu Lingyu patted her hand to comfort her. Grandfather, let's talk about it later. Sima Yue said. Huang Ying slapped Sima Xiuqi and said, Look at the situation now. What if you scare your granddaughter? I haven't done anything yet. Sima Xiuqi argued. How could this scare his granddaughter? Great-grandfather, grandfather, grandmother, since you're here, let's go to Ghost City. Sima Yue said. Once he thought about his son who had been missing for over 50 years, Sima Xiuqi temporarily let Wu Lingyu off and said, This Ghost City isn't a place where we can go just because we want to. It's better if we make some preparations first. I prepared everything. Sima Yue said, We can leave after Grandpa and Grandma have a good rest. Are you ready? Yes. Sima Yue said, When I was waiting for you guys, I asked Diwu to prepare everything that could be prepared. Actually, what Diwu said was very simple. She just needed to prepare more elixirs, spirit tools, and array formation stones, especially elixirs. Because that place was filled with darkness, spirit force, and death aura, it was troublesome to recover spirit force after consuming it. The only way was to rely on pills. However, he did not know that Sima Yue had the little realm and the spirit pagoda. With these two things, she would be able to recover as long as she returned to the little realm. But just in case, she still prepared more of the things that Diwu mentioned. Since you prepared everything, let's set off now. The earlier we go, the earlier we can find your father. Huang Yingying said, If you don't have any objections, then it's fine if we go earlier. I'll gather everyone and leave immediately. Sima Yue said, All right, you go first. Sima Yue pulled Wu Lingyu out to look for Third Mo and Diwu. Seeing their backs as they left, Sima Ji Yuan smiled and nodded, saying, The two of them are really compatible. Their backs are very pleasing to the eye. Sima Xiuqi was unhappy as he pulled a long face and said, Patriarch, why did you agree to them being together? Yu is a child of the Sima family. How can you be together with someone from the Sage Pavilion? Then can you separate them? Let's see if Yue will fall out with you. I dare to bet that if you dare to go, Yue will immediately take her away. Sima Ji Yuan said, Someone who even the patriarch praised would naturally not be bad. Huang Yingying said, Since the patriarch has no objections, you don't have to be so calculative about his identity. That's right. Sima Ji Yuan glanced at him and said, Yue is amenable to coaxing but not coercion. As long as she acknowledges you, she will treat you wholeheartedly. If you go against her, be careful that she won't acknowledge you in the future. I spent a lot of effort to get her to acknowledge me, but I didn't manage to get her to acknowledge our family. That's why she still hasn't expressed her willingness to go back. We are her closest kin. How dare she not go back with us? Threats are of no use to her. I've understood her personality during this period of time. We can't use force on her. We can only use kinship to influence her. So you guys have to be more careful on the way. Other than protecting her safety, you have to try to influence her and make her return to the family. Sima Ji Yuan reminded. We understand. This ghost city has always existed in legends. We've never seen it before and have never come into contact with it. That's why we don't know what's going on inside. You guys have to be careful when you go there. If you bring Yue there, you have to bring her back. We will, Patriarch, Sima Xiuqi replied. The patriarch didn't feel in the past, but he seemed to have become a little naggy now. When there are no outsiders around, you should call me father, Sima Ji Yuan said. Sima Xiuqi and Huang Yingying were stunned. Ever since he became the patriarch, everyone in the family had to call him patriarch. Even his own son and daughter-in-law couldn't. They had been calling him that for so many years. Why did he suddenly think of calling him that? Yu is right. The title of patriarch will increase the distance between us. It will make us feel less close. So when there are no outsiders around, you should call me father. Yes, father. Sima Yue brought third Mo, Di Wu, and the others in. Behind them were Sima Lu Yun and Sima Lu Feng. Behind them were Shimin Feng and the others who came to send them off. All right, everyone is here. Let's get ready to go, Sima Yue said. Sima Xiuqi saw that there weren't many people, including them. He frowned and said, "Isn't it a little too little to bring so few people?" When they were waiting, Sima Ji Yuan told them how dangerous Ghost City was. But if they only brought so few people, wouldn't they be sending themselves to their deaths? Grandmother, you're mistaken. We're not going with these people, Sima Yue said. Then how many are there? We'll be more confident if we bring more people. Huang Yingying said. Grandmother, it's not like that. Sima Yue said. Feng, when old Bai are here to send me off. They're not going. Not going. Yes. Sima Yue explained. Yin Lin said that third Mo, Little Tong, and Di Wu are enough to follow me. But great-grandfather was worried, so he asked you to come with us. Otherwise, there will be fewer people. Can we handle it with just the few of us going? It wasn't that Huang Yingying wasn't confident in her own abilities. But when Sima Ji Yuan instructed them just now, they understood how dangerous Ghost City was. Grandmother, don't worry. It's not just a few of us. Sima Yue said, it's just that we're the ones who have to go on this journey. She didn't explicitly say that the people from Bloodfiend City would go together. But when she said that many people would go together, Sima Ji Yuan didn't refute, which meant that it was true. Sima Xiuqi and Huang Yingying were relieved and said, those people have already gone ahead? Then let's go too. Sima Yue turned back to look at Shimin Feng. Shimin Feng went forward and hugged her, saying, we'll wait for you at Heartbreak Valley. If you don't come back, I'll definitely bring people to kill them. Sima Yue saw the fear and worry in his eyes and smiled. Don't worry, I'll definitely come back with my father. You guys can do whatever you need to do in the valley. I hope that I can hear good news when I come back. All right, we will definitely. Take this. Sima Yue placed her life, Jade, in Shimin Feng's hand. Sima Ji Yuan was unhappy and pulled a long face. Chapter 1299. Since Sima Yue had given her life, Jade, to Shimin Feng, the Sima family wouldn't know anything about her. The moment he got angry, the entire atmosphere changed. Sima Yue understood his thoughts and went up to hold his hand, saying, Great-grandfather, you have grandfather and grandmother's life tablets. If anything happened to them, Sima Xiuqi's life token would know. But that's not yours. Sima Ji Yuan said. Great-grandfather, it doesn't matter who it is. Sima Yue held his hand and said coquettishly, no matter what, I'm still the Vice Valley Lord here. They have to have news about me too. You can't let grandfather and the others leave their life tablets in Heartbreak Valley and leave mine here with you, right? That's nothing, oh. All right, it's settled then. Sima Yue said, Great-grandfather, we're already on our way. You can't expect me to leave in a huff, right? Sima Ji Yuan saw her smiling coquettishly at him and didn't want to make her unhappy. So he said helplessly, all right then. I'll listen to you this time. You have to be good. I'll definitely be fine, Sima Yue quickly replied. Come back to the clan after we rescue your father. Sima Ji Yuan said, if you're worried about Heartbreak Valley, you can let them go to the inner region with you. Great-grandfather, they're doing well in Heartbreak Valley. Sima Yue said, the terrain of Heartbreak Valley is dangerous, and there is poisonous miasma as a natural barrier. It is better for the disciples in the valley who have many enemies. As for me, I'll wait until I find my father. She didn't say anything definite, which meant that she might go back or not. Everything depended on Sima Lu Xian's situation. Sima Ji Yuan had always known her position and knew that it was useless to rush her. He patted her shoulder and said, "Then you must save your father. I'll wait for you at home." "I definitely will. Great-grandfather, don't worry." Sima Xiuqi and Huang Yingying looked at each other when they saw their interaction. Father really doted on Yue. She was probably the only one in the family who could be so intimate with her. Woof, woof, woof. A few barks startled everyone present. They actually didn't notice any spirit beasts approaching. Xiao Hei ran out of nowhere and came to Sima Yue with a piccolo in his mouth. Sima Yue squatted down and patted its head. "Where have you been these past few days?" Woof, woof, woof. Little Black placed the piccolo in its mouth into her hand and called out twice to please her. "What is this?" Sima Yue looked at the piccolo. It was about 10 centimeters long and had a milky white body. There was a small skull on the edge of the piccolo, and it felt cold in her palm. Di Wu jumped in fright when he saw the short flute. He shouted, "Bone flute." "Bone flute? What's this?" Sima Yue tilted her head and asked. "It's a very famous underworld artifact in the ghost realm. The sound of the flute can control a person's soul. It was one of the top 10 underworld artifacts in the ghost realm. If I didn't guess wrongly, the incident in Fair Eastern City was caused by someone who used the ghost flute to attack your people in the air and open up the passage." Di Wu said. "That's it." Sima Yue looked at the bone flute in her hand. Speaking of which, there was indeed a flute sound in Fair Eastern City's incident. It was played by this thing? That should be it. Di Wu continued. "Don't let anyone know that the bone flute is with you. Otherwise, those people in the ghost realm will find trouble with you again." "Is it that attractive?" Sima Yue asked. "Why not? Ghost realm's top 10 underworld artifacts, 100 ghost banner, bone flute, God vanquishing seal are all ranked at the top. The appearance of any underworld artifact will cause the entire ghost realm to fight for it and cause a bloody storm. So powerful." Sima Yue laughed. She loved treasures. Woof, woof, woof. Seeing Sima Yue happy, Little Black was happy too. Sima Yue kept the bone flute and carried Little Black. The previous owner must have been struck to death by the lightning tribulation and left this here. "Little Black, you specially want to find it for me, right?" Woof, woof, woof. Little Black wagged its tail happily. "I'll study this eye properly when I'm free." "All right, we're leaving." She took out a one-time use array and said to everyone, "Be careful." Shimin Feng warned. "Boss, I believe that you guys will be able to come back safely." Feng Kai said, "We'll settle the matters here properly. You go out. Don't worry about this place." Bai Shang said. Sima Yue looked at them and nodded. She activated the array, and everyone walked in. The array's light surrounded them, and they disappeared quickly. "If Heartbreak Valley has any trouble, you can take this and find me." Sima Ji Yuan placed a jade pendant in Shimin Feng's hand. "You guys should know how to find it, right?" "Yes." Shimin Feng said. She's gone. I'll help her take care of you guys. Since you know, I won't say more." After speaking, he opened a space tunnel and walked in. Bai Sheng saw that Shimin Feng was worried and said, "Don't worry. We know Yo Yue's ability. Nothing will happen. Moreover, there's so many people from Bloodfiend City. Let's go. It's time to deal with Yinyang Palace and Zhongzheng clan." This array was made by Sima Yue while she was waiting for Feng Ming to make it. The distance this time was too far, and she was unable to set up such a long-distance array. Although Feng Ming was curious about her sudden trip to the southern wasteland, he didn't ask much and quickly set up the array for her. In the southern part of the southern wasteland, there was an endless swamp. It was known as the biggest and most dangerous swamp in the central regions. It was said that the swamp mud here was very light but extremely sticky. If one entered the swamp, it would be hard to come out. In a space somewhere in the swamp, an array exit suddenly appeared, and Sima Yue and the others came out from it. Sima Xiuqi recognized it after a few glances and said, "Yes, this is the Southern Wasteland Swamp." "Southern Wasteland Swamp? How do we come here?" Sima Lu Feng and the others knew about this place, but they didn't expect to come here so quickly. "Ghost City is here?" Sima Lu Yin frowned. I asked President Fong to set up the array according to the coordinates given by Yin Lin. It should be correct. Sima Yue said. Master said that Ghost City will set off from the southern wasteland swamp. Little Helper confirmed the accuracy of this place. But we've been here before and didn't find anything special. Sima Lu Feng said. In order to find Sima Lu Xian, they went to many places and the southern wasteland swamp was one of them. When they came here before, they didn't find anything special about this place. Since Little Helper knows, then lead the way. Who knew that Little Helper shook his head and said, I don't know the way behind. Chapter 1300. You don't know? Then how do we get to Ghost City? Sima Lu Feng asked. Little Helper looked at Di Wu and said, He'll lead the rest of the way. Me? Di Wu pointed at his nose in surprise. I don't know where Ghost City is. Everyone was speechless. So, no one knew where Ghost City was. They thought Little Helper knew. Little Helper thought Di Wu knew. But in the end, no one knew. Both of you don't know how to get to Ghost City? Sima Yue asked. Master said he knows. Little Helper said, I've never been there. I've only heard of it. Di Wu said innocently, Your master knows it's at this place. Didn't he say the exact place? Little Helper shook his head. Yin Lin really didn't say. Then what do we do now? Everyone looked at each other. They didn't know what to do. Little Helper, why did your master say Di Wu knows? Sima Yue asked. Didn't he say Di Wu knows? Did he say the reason? Little Helper said. Didn't Di Wu say he's heard of it? Maybe the place you've heard of is it. Wu Lingyu said. Let me think. Di Wu continued. I've heard of it a long time ago. I've heard of a saying before. When the sun sets in the west, humans and ghosts are connected. Could be related to this? Sima Xiuqi said. West Mountain? Right. The legendary ghost city seems to be at West Mountain. Di Wu shouted. This West Mountain is the human realm's West Mountain. It shouldn't be related to Ghost Realm, right? No. Ghost Realm has a mountain called West Mountain too. Di Wu said confidently. But there's no mountain called West Mountain here. Sima Lu Yin continued. We came here to search before. We thought he might have come here, but we didn't find him after looking around. We knew there's no West Mountain here then. Whether there's one or not, we'll know after asking a spirit beast. Sima Xiuqi said and sucked down. A spirit beast hiding in the swamp was sucked out. Spare me. Spare me. The little loach twisted its body in the air and cried out loudly. Don't shout. We don't want your life. Sima Xiuqi said, Let me ask you, is there a place called West Mountain in the southern wasteland swamp? When the little loach heard that it was not going to die, it immediately quieted down. Hearing Matthew's words, he thought for a moment, then said, No, there is no place called West Mountain in the southern wasteland swamp. Really? No, Little Loach said with certainty. Could it be that you know there's no one near you? Our spirit beasts move around quite frequently. If there are any, we'll definitely know. There's definitely no such place as the West Mountain, Little Loach said. Sima Xiuqi saw that he was quite honest, so he let him go. He also caught a few spirit beasts to ask, and the results were the same. Seems like there really isn't a Western Mountain. Di Wu said. Sima Yue looked at the mountains in the distance. It was sunset now. The sun was between two mountains and was slowly sinking. Sunset West Mountain. Could this West Mountain not be the name of mountain range, but a mountain range in the west? Mountain range in the west. Huang Yingying followed Sima Yue's gaze and also saw the sun sinking in the west. That's not quite possible, right? Sima Lu Feng said. The mountain we're looking at now is the west. What if we're not standing at this position? If we're standing at the west of this mountain, then this mountain would be east of us. It seemed reasonable for him to say that. However, Sima Yue did not think so. She looked at those few mountains and felt that it was more and more similar. Since we don't have any other ideas, why don't we go there and try? Wu Lingyu suggested. That's true. Don't go there. The little loach from before suddenly stuck its head out from the mud. That place is very strange. Spirit beasts often go missing there. It's very dangerous. Oh, little loach's words immediately attracted their attention. Those two mountains don't seem to be anything special. Why is it so dangerous? I know. Anyway, it's especially dangerous at this time every day, so we won't go near it this time. Little Loach said, It won't happen at other times? No, it's usually 2 hours before and after sunset. Then you'll be very scared. The spirit beasts that go there will disappear as they walk. Little Loach said, We got it. Thank you, Little Loach. This is a thank you gift. Sima Yue took out a pill and threw it to Little Loach. Little Loach didn't know what this pill was, but it smelled very comfortable. It was definitely something good. So it took the pill and sank down again. According to what it said, it should be that place. Sima Lu Yun said, I didn't expect that the intersection between humans and ghosts would be in such an inconspicuous place. Let's go over. They flew towards those few mountains. They didn't expect that although it looked close, it was actually quite far away. When they reached there, the sun had already set. They had no choice but to wait until the next day. On this day, they circled around the mountain. In the end, they didn't see any spirit beasts. It proved that this place was unusual. On the second day, when the sun was about to set, they left the range of the mountain range and slowly flew towards the middle of the two mountains. Just as they passed through the middle of the two mountains, the scene in front of them changed. Previously, this place looked like a swamp, but now it was gray. There was no setting sun in the west, nor were there any green plants. They looked back. Although they could see the two mountains from before, it felt like they weren't in the same space. Did we come in? Should be. It's grayish everywhere. Where would Ghost City be? I know this, Diwu said. Didn't you say you didn't know? I didn't know how you people from the human realm came here. I knew when we came here. Diwu explained. Then how do we go? It said that there's only one direction at the intersection between humans and ghosts. No matter where you go, you'll reach Ghost City. Diwu continued. The direction you go is Ghost City. Once you exit Ghost City, you'll go to another world. So magical? It was the first time Sima Yue heard about it. She felt that it was unbelievable. It seemed to be in all directions, but there was only one direction. That was strange. But in this special place, it wasn't unacceptable. So no matter where we go, we'll reach Ghost City. Then why did you say you know the way? Sima Lu Feng rolled his eyes at him. That counts as knowing, Diwu retorted. If it wasn't for him, they wouldn't know. Then let's just find a random direction. Sima Yue bit her lips. Did father go there like this too? Reading background default setting classic light, blue classic light, gray classic, green classic bright, yellow dark blue, ocean, autumn, abundant green, elegant red powder, aristocratic family red, talk dense, sea vast sky, broken heart past, snow white world, gray world, font color default setting white red green blue brown, font size, default setting small medium large speed, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 1 0 mouse scroll description, 1 to 10. 1 is the slowest, 10 is the fastest. Chapter 1301. According to the book's current location, since every direction was the same, the few of them casually chose a direction. Sima Yue called Chongming out and got him to lead everyone. Who? The gale in front of them made them unable to open their eyes. Chongming's speed decreased by quite a bit. Chongming, let's change direction. Sima Yue said. All right. Chongming replied and immediately changed direction. But it was the same even if they changed direction. The wind was still blowing towards them. There was no wind in other directions. It's no use. Huang Yingying said, since every direction is in front, no matter which direction we go, the wind will be blowing towards us. Sima Xiuqi condensed his spirit energy. That spirit energy turned into a faint ripple and wrapped everyone, including Chongming. With this layer of protection, the wind's strength decreased by quite a bit. Let's continue. Sima Xiuqi said to Chongming. All right, the wind resistance decreased. Their speed increased by quite a bit. When that layer of protection disappeared, Huang Yingying set up another one. Then it was Sima Lu Yun and Sima Lu Feng's turn, followed by Wu Lingyu. They took turns. The further they went, the stronger the wind. Chongming couldn't take it anymore. It was Little Rock's turn. Look, Isn't it brighter over there? Little Helper looked at the sky in front and cried out in surprise. Seems like it. Are we going to pass through this place? Sima Yue said. Although they didn't encounter any danger on this journey, the strong gale almost made them exhausted. If it wasn't for the fact that they ate a lot of spirit energy recovery pills, even if they passed through this place, their spirit energy would have been depleted. Little Rock kept going forward. Suddenly the gale in front disappeared. The pressure also disappeared. It's gone. Di Wu looked up at the sky. Without the pressure, their breathing became smoother. Seems like we passed. Sima Lu Yun said. The sky here is much brighter than the road in front. It's also much fresher. It's not so gray. Sima Yue said. Yes, there are plants here too. Other than the lack of sun, it's pretty much the same as outside. Little Rock flew forward for a distance, but suddenly fell down. You can't fly here. Little Rock said as he descended. Everyone, protect yourselves. If he fell from such a high place without any protection, he would probably be smashed to pieces. Fortunately, when they were a few dozen meters from the ground, Little Rock flapped its wings a few more times and rose up a few meters, reducing the speed and force of the fall, allowing everyone to land safely. There's a spatial restriction here. We can't fly. Sima Xiuqi looked at the sky. If they couldn't fly, then their journey would be very slow. Not only is there a spatial restriction here, there's also a gravitational pull. Do you feel that your feet are very heavy? Sima Xiuqi said. Yes, it does feel very heavy. Huang Yingying said. Sima Lu Yun and the others nodded. I think it's fine. I don't feel anything. After saying that, Little Tong raised his leg. It was indeed quite relaxing. I think it's fine too. Sima Yue took 2 steps. Although it was heavier than usual, it didn't affect them too much. Both of you seem to be more relaxed than us. Sima Lu Feng said. Could it be that this is based on strength? The stronger you are, the heavier the gravitational pull. It's possible. Huang Yingying said. I can clearly feel that it's a little difficult to lift my feet. Same for me. Sima Xiuqi said. I don't feel anything. Third Mo, what about you? Di Wu asked. Both my legs feel like they're filled with lead. Third Mo said. Seems like only Yue, Di Wu, and Little Tong are less affected by the gravitational pull. Sima Xiuqi walked a few meters forward. Something that usually took a few seconds took a few minutes. We can't go on like this. At this speed, we might not be able to walk out of this place in a few months. We have to think of a way to lessen the gravitational pull. Huang Yingying said. I have an idea. Sima Yue said, since Little Tong, Di Wu, and I aren't affected, why don't we walk outside while you guys go into the Little Realm? Little Realm? Whose Little Realm? Huang Yingying asked. Mine. Sima Yue took out the little door and opened the door of the Little Realm. You guys go in first. Come out after you've passed this distance. As people from the inner regions, Sima Xiuqi and Huang Yingying weren't surprised to see the Little Realm, but they were surprised that she had a Little Realm. She had never relied on her clan. How is it? Sima Yue looked at everyone. This idea is not bad. Sima Lu Yun said, but if there's danger, wouldn't it be too slow for us to come out? In the end, he was worried about their safety. Don't worry. This little realm opens quickly. If something happens, it's not a problem for you guys to come out. Sima Yue said, then we can only do this now. Everyone went into the Little Realm. Only Yue, Little Tong, and Di Wu were left. Sima Yue kept the Little Realm and said, it's just the 3 of us now. Let's go. There's no danger along the way. We just need to spend some time and energy. Little Tong said. With his words, Sima Yue and Di Wu walked forward boldly. Just like what Little Tong said, they didn't encounter any danger along the way. It was just that they couldn't fly and could only walk. With the influence of gravity, it was a tough journey. On the way, they saw many skeletons. There were humans and spirit beasts. There were more spirit beasts than humans. Most of those spirit beasts should have entered here by mistake. They couldn't go back and could only walk forward. After walking here, they couldn't resist the influence of gravity and stayed here forever. This journey was considered treacherous. After walking for 2 months, They finally got out of the gravity zone. They went over a mountain. There was still gravity on this side of the mountain. After going over the mountain and reaching the other side, the gravity disappeared. Little Tong's body was weaker. After walking for a while, Sima Yue put him in the little realm. Only Di Wu and her were left. After walking for so long, we're finally out. Sima Yue heaved a sigh of relief. They couldn't fly and couldn't use powerful spirit beasts. They could only rely on their own 2 legs. It was a feeling that she hadn't experienced for many years. Let me bring them out first. Sima Yue just took out the small door and saw rolling black clouds whizzing over from afar. What's that? Di Wu shouted. The black clouds flew over quickly. When they got closer, they realized that it wasn't a black cloud. It was a black mass of flying beasts. These flying beasts were different from those in the human realm. Every one of them was extremely ugly and had red eyes. And underscore S equals point, and IP equals, and underscore S equals GBK, and D equals tank system underscore 1005796 underscore 13556 underscore 53968 and underscore S equals true, and underscore S // P / X I equals N underscore 1005796 underscore 13556 underscore 53968 and underscore H equals 0 and tanks underscore H underscore S tanks underscore H and underscore S equals point and IP equals and underscore S equals GPEK and D equals tanks underscore 1005796 underscore 13556 underscore 53982 and underscore S equals true and underscore S / P / X I equals M underscore 1005796 underscore 13556 underscore 53982 and underscore H equals 0 and tanks underscore H underscore S tanks underscore H and underscore S equals point and IP equals and underscore S equals GBK and D equals tanks and 1005796 underscore 13556 underscore 53982 and underscore S equals true and underscore S / P / X I equals M underscore 1005796 underscore 13556 underscore 53982 and underscore H equals 0 and tanks underscore H underscore S tanks underscore H. Remember after reading, for next time, or Time Travel Fan is dedicated to creating what girls love to see and providing the best for girls. Chapter 1302. Di Wu saw the approaching birds. He pulled Sima Yue and ran. Do you know what those birds are? Sima Yue asked as she ran. There's a type of bird in Ghost Realm called Underworld Fiend Bird. They look similar to this, but their eyes aren't red. Are Underworld Fiend birds very powerful? They aren't powerful individually, but there's a lot of them. Look at them. They almost covered the entire sky. Sima Yue turned back. The sky was covered in black. There was no need to think to know how many of them there were. We have to think of a way, Di Wu said. If not, we'll be in trouble if they catch up to us. What other way do we have now? Sima Yue took out a small door as she ran. She opened the small realm and ran in with Di Wu. Squeak, squeak. Those underworld fiend birds were about to catch up to Sima Yue, but they disappeared in vain. They screamed angrily. Sima Yue looked at the dark sky outside because of the angry underworld fiend birds. She patted her chest and said, "Luckily, we have a place to hide." "What's outside?" Wu Lingyu saw Sima Yue was still in shock. He went up to hold her hand and asked, "Underworld fiend birds that cover the sky." Sima Yue said, "There's actually underworld fiend birds here?" Wu Lingyu was astonished. "Isn't that only in Ghost Realm? They can actually survive in this place?" They seem to have mutated. Their eyes are red. Sima Yue said, "Are those underworld fiend birds very powerful?" "They're not powerful individually, but when they gather together, they'll be hard to deal with." Diwu said, "Let's wait here." Sima Yue said, "Let's wait for those underworld fiend birds outside to leave. Then we'll have to wait." Wu Lingyu said, "These underworld fiend birds are quite intelligent. Since they saw you guys enter the small realm, they'll definitely be guarding outside. Then how long before they give up?" "Underworld fiend birds are very patient underworld beasts. They won't leave in a short time." Diwu said, "There's nothing we can do about it. We can only wait." "Well, since you can't go out, then just rest inside. It's been tough on you guys." Sima Lufeng said, "You do need a good rest. It's really tiring to walk all the way here." Sima Yue took out a special elixir for Diwu. Along the way, the two of them had to be vigilant to see if there was any danger, so they had used up a lot of their mental strength. Sima Yue went to rest, so the others could not see what was going on outside, so they could only wait patiently. 2 days later, Sima Yue, who was meditating, was awakened by the commotion outside. She called the others over, and with a thought, everyone could see the situation outside. Those underworld fiend birds didn't cover the entire mountain like before. Instead, they seemed to have been startled by something and flew off into the distance. What happened to those underworld fiend birds? Look at the sky. Sima Yue reminded. Dark clouds quickly gathered in the sky, as if someone was about to undergo a lightning tribulation. Someone is undergoing a lightning tribulation here. I heard that those who went to the human realm from the ghost realm would encounter a lightning tribulation after leaving the city. This should be someone from the ghost realm coming out from the city. Diwu guessed. That means this place shouldn't be far from the ghost city. Sima Lufeng said, "It's good that someone is undergoing a lightning tribulation. At least those underworld fiend birds were scared away." Third Mo said, "That's right. I thought we would have to wait here for 1 or 2 months. I didn't expect them to leave so quickly." Sima Yue was very happy. Those underworld fiend birds were scared away by the lightning tribulation. After the lightning tribulation, they could leave. We can also take a look at the level of the lightning tribulation here. Sima Lufeng continued. This will help us understand the situation here. The lightning tribulation clouds gathered quickly outside. It seemed like the person undergoing the lightning tribulation was in trouble. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to pass it. Could it be that the Almighty from the ghost realm wants to use this path to leave? Diwu saw the power of the lightning tribulation clouds and shivered in fear. If it's an Almighty, would they still use this path? Sima Yue said, "People who reach that level would directly tear the space apart. For example, when Wu Lingyu went to the devil realm, and when Mo Yu returned to the ghost realm." That's true. Such a powerful lightning tribulation, it's either the person undergoing the lightning tribulation has committed a heinous crime, or he's undergoing the lightning tribulation in a group. Sima Xiu Qi continued, "But no matter what, it's beneficial for our journey later on." That's right. The power of the lightning tribulation would deter the spirit beasts here. They wouldn't dare to act rashly. It would save them a lot of time and energy. Because the distance was too far, they didn't see who was undergoing the lightning tribulation. The lightning tribulation dispersed after striking for half a day. Sima Yue only brought everyone out after confirming that there was no danger outside. According to the direction of the lightning tribulation just now, we should be able to reach the ghost city. Sima Yue looked in that direction and calculated how long it would take to reach the place where the lightning tribulation happened. Diwu's body kept trembling after he came out. "Can I go back first?" Sima Yue saw him trembling uncontrollably and recalled that he was also from the ghost clan. The remnant power of the lightning tribulation in the air wasn't easy for him to endure, so she opened the door to the little realm and let him in. She planned to let him out after this journey. They sat on the flying beast and flew towards the ghost city. After flying for 2 days, they saw a group of charred corpses on the ground. 10 over Ghost Clan went through the lightning tribulation together. No wonder the power was so strong. Sima Lufeng continued. Yue, if it was you, could you endure the lightning tribulation that day? Compared to the one in fair Eastern City, what do you think? Sima Yue asked back. That's true. You even went through such a huge lightning tribulation in fair Eastern City. This is nothing to you. Sima Lu Feng continued. Yue, come, tell us, how did you become immune to lightning? I think those lightning-attributed spirit masters can't do what you did. Tell me. I'll learn from you. Who knows, I might be immune to lightning in the future. About this, it's actually very easy. Sima Yue smiled and looked at Sima Lu Feng. You'll be struck by lightning tribulation a few more times, the stronger the better, then you'll get used to it. Sima Lu Feng thought about what she said seriously. Then he realized that she was bluffing him. You don't respect the old at all. I'm just telling the truth. Sima Yue looked at him innocently. I was struck a few times, then I don't know why my body had the lightning attribute. Then I realized that I could trigger the lightning tribulation. Then I just let nature take its course. Sima Xiuqi and Huang Yingying thought she was joking at first. After hearing what she said, they patted her head with heartache and said, I really can't imagine how you've been through all this. Poor child, you don't have to work so hard in the future. Just leave everything to us. Chapter 1303. Sima Yue could feel Huang Yingying's love and guilt for her. She shook her head slightly. Actually, compared to what I've gotten, what I've encountered is really nothing. Many people have suffered more than I have, but they haven't gained as much as I have. She comforted him with a smile. You child. Huang Yingying reached out and hugged her. She was so sensible at such a young age, yet she was not proud of her achievements. How could they not love such a granddaughter? Sima Lu Feng pursed his lips. Ani was known as the Iron Lady in the family. She had scolded her brothers, sisters-in-law, and so on. Everyone was afraid of her. Now, he's actually so kind to Yue. How rare. However, when he thought about it, even the patriarch treated her with kindness. This was enough to show how charming she was. Who wouldn't like such a talented and sensible child? I wonder what the ghost city looks like. How is it different from the cities outside? Sima Yue asked. There shouldn't be any difference. If you really want to say something, it's probably just that there are dark spirit masters and ghost clan inside. Third, Immerse said. I don't know what happened to father back then. His life tablet has always been cracked. Had he been injured all these years? At the mention of Sima Lu Xian, everyone was silent. The atmosphere was a little gloomy because of worry. Yue, don't worry. Your father will be fine. Little Helper said, Master said that your father will have some influence in the future, so he won't be gone so soon. Yes, thank you. Sima Yue smiled at him. She did not ask what it would affect in the future. If he could tell her, he would not be so vague. Therefore, it was useless for her to ask. Not long after encountering the ghost corpses, they saw a city floating in midair. Unlike Ocean of Clouds City, which seemed to be floating in midair, Ghost City was really floating in midair, and there was nothing to support it from below. Because this was the border between the ghost realm and the human realm, the spiritual power of other attributes in the air was scarce. The closer it was to the ghost city, the thinner it was, to the point where there was almost none. Once they were taken out of Ghost City, they would be completely gone. They flew along the outskirts of the city for a long time, but they still couldn't see the city gate. This ghost city doesn't have a city gate. How are we going to enter? Let's keep looking. They flew for a few more days. Everywhere was the same. The same city walls, the same bricks. There was no difference at all. If they hadn't been walking in the same direction, they would have thought that they were walking back. This ghost city is so big. We've been walking for so many days, and we still haven't seen the end. If Father is really in there, it won't be easy to find him. Sima Yue sighed. It is indeed huge. We have to find an entrance first, Wu Lingyu said. We've been walking for so many days, but there's not even a shadow. It's probably not just because it's too big that we can't find it, but because it's always like this. Very likely. Sima Xiuqi said, I'll try to see if I can go in first. He flew up, but just as he reached the height of the city wall, he was knocked back by a black ripple before he could reach the top. Sima Xiuqi could feel the power contained in the ripple and used all his strength to defend himself. Only then was he able to prevent himself from being injured. However, he was still forced to retreat. There really is a defensive array? Sima Xiuqi returned to everyone's side with a heavy expression. Even I can't break through it forcefully. This defensive array is quite powerful, he said solemnly. He was already a paragon, but he was knocked back by the power of the ripple. This ghost city's defensive ability was actually so strong. Seems like it's not easy to enter this city gate. Third Mo looked at the city wall with interest. It's impossible to fight it forcefully. We have to think of a way. Do you have an idea? He looked at Wu Lingyu. This holy son of the Sage Pavilion should have some experience. As expected, Wu Lingyu nodded. I've heard of some theories, but I'm not sure. What idea do you have? Sima Lu Feng asked. Wu Lingyu looked at Di Wu. Go and try. Me? I'm not that powerful. Di Wu quickly shook his head. Go and try. You won't get hurt. Wu Lingyu said. All right then. Di Wu took a deep breath and flew towards the city gate. Bang! As Di Wu wasn't that powerful and believed Wu Lingyu, he didn't protect himself and was sent flying by the power of the attack. Wu Lingyu waved his hand and a power caught him and brought him back. It is so painful. Didn't you say there wouldn't be a problem? Di Wu rubbed his injured hand and glared at him unhappily. You believed it too, Wu Lingyu said faintly. Di Wu was speechless. He felt like he was fooled by him. Don't be angry. Your injury isn't without meaning, Wu Lingyu said. What did you think of? Sima Yue asked. Didn't you notice that the backlash against the Ghost Clan is smaller? Wu Lingyu asked back. Seems like it. Sima Yue thought about it. Both of them didn't take the initiative to attack, but the power of the defensive array was different. Seems like there's a difference. Is there a difference with power? Sima Lu Feng asked. You can try. Third Mo said. Third Mo was just teasing him. He didn't expect Sima Lu Feng to reply and fly over. Bang! Sima Lu Feng wasn't seriously injured because he was prepared, but it could be seen that his attack was much more powerful than Di Wu's, and his power was on par with Di Wu's. As expected, the human clan will be attacked more than the ghost clan. Why is that? Little Helper asked. It's probably because the person who set this up hated the human clan even more. Sima Yue guessed. Seems like you and Di Wu have to complete again, Wu Lingyu said. Sima Yue understood what he meant. She brought the others into the little realm, leaving only Di Wu and her. How did the two of us go in? Di Wu asked. Sima Yue kept her spirit energy and released the dark aura in her body. Then, she called Little Roar out to merge with her. After doing that, her aura changed completely. Di Wu sniffed the aura on her body and was moved to tears. Ooh, it's this smell. It's the smell of the princess. Di Wu danced around her. I've smelled it before, but it's been a long time since I smelled it. Sima Yue saw his excited look and smiled. All right, let's go in. Where do we go in? Di Wu just asked when Sima Yue held his hand and flew towards the city wall. They didn't care about being hurt by the defensive array. Chapter 1304. You don't know? Then how do we get to the ghost city? Sima Lu Feng asked. Xiao Tong looked at Di Wu and said, He will lead the way from now on. Xiao Tong looked at Di Wu and said, He will lead the way from now on. Me? Di Wu pointed at his own nose in surprise. I don't know where the ghost city is. Everyone was speechless. So, no one knew where the ghost city was. They had always thought that Xiao Tong knew, and Xiao Tong thought that Di Wu knew. In the end, no one knew. Both of you don't know how to get to the ghost city? Sima Yue asked. Master said that he knows, Xiao Tong said. I have never been there. I have only heard of it, Di Wu said innocently. Your master knows that it is here. Did he not mention the specific place? Xiao Tong shook his head. Yinlin did not mention it. Then what do we do now? Everyone looked at each other. They did not know what to do. Xiao Tong, why did your master say that Di Wu would know? Sima Yue asked. Didn't he say that Di Wu would know? Did he say why? Xiao Tong said. Didn't Di Wu say that he had heard of it before? Perhaps it is the place that you have heard of, Wu Lingyu said. Then let me think. Diwu said, I have heard of it a long time ago. I have heard of a saying before. When the sun sets in the western hills, humans and ghosts connect. Could it be related to this? Sima Shiochi said. Western Hills? Right? The legendary ghost city seems to be in the Western Hills. Diwu shouted. This Western Hills refers to the Western Hills of the human realm. It shouldn't be related to the ghost realm, right? No, the ghost realm also has a mountain called the Western Hills. Diwu said with certainty. But there isn't a mountain called the Western Hills here. Sima Luyun said, We once came here to look for it. At that time, we thought that he might have come here, but we couldn't find him. At that time, we knew that there isn't a Western Hills here. Whether there is or not, we just need to find a spirit beast and ask. After Sima Shiochi finished speaking, he forcefully sucked downwards. A spirit beast hiding in the swamp was sucked out. Spare me, spare me. That little loach twisted its body in the air and cried out loudly. Don't shout, we don't want your life. Sima Shiochi said, Let me ask you, is there a place called the Western Hills in the southern desolate swamp? When that little loach heard that he didn't want his life, he immediately calmed down. When he heard that it was Sima Shiochi, he thought for a moment and said, No, there isn't a place called the Western Hills in the southern desolate swamp. There really isn't? There isn't. The little loach said with certainty. Could it be that you know that there isn't one near you? The spirit beasts here move around quite frequently. If there was one, then we would definitely know about it. There definitely isn't a place called the Western Hills. The little loach said. Sima Shiochi saw that he was quite honest, so he let him go. He also caught a few spirit beasts to ask, but the results were the same. It seems like there really isn't a Western Hills. Diwu said. Sima Yua looked at the mountains in the distance. Right now it was sunset. The sun was sandwiched between two mountains and was slowly sinking. The sun is setting in the Western Hills. Could it be that the Western Hills isn't the name of a mountain range, but a mountain range in the west? A mountain range in the west. Huang Yingying followed Sima Yoyue's gaze and saw the setting sun. That's not possible, right? Sima Lufeng said, The mountain we are looking at now is in the west. What if we are not standing in this position? If we are standing on the west side of this mountain, then this mountain is in the east side of us. What he said made sense. However, Sima Yue didn't think so. The more she looked at the mountains, the more she felt that they were similar. Anyway, we don't have any other way. Why don't we try there? Wu Lingyu suggested. That's true. Don't go there. The little loach from before suddenly popped its head out of the mud. That place is very strange. Spirit beasts often go missing there. It's very dangerous. Oh, the little loach's words immediately attracted everyone's attention. There doesn't seem to be anything special about those two mountains, right? Why are they so dangerous? I know. Anyway, at this time of the day, that place is especially dangerous. That's why we won't go there at this time, the little loach said. Not at other times? No. Usually, it's 2 hours before and after sunset. During that time, you will be very scary. The spirit beasts that go there will disappear after walking for a while, the little loach said. We understand. Thank you, little loach. This is a thank you gift. Sima Yue took out an elixir and threw it to the little loach. The little loach did not know what this elixir was, but it smelled very comfortable. It was definitely something good. Therefore, it wrapped the elixir and sank back into the ground. According to what it said, it should be that place, Sima Luyun said. I really didn't expect that the border between humans and ghosts would be in such an inconspicuous place. Let's go over. They flew towards those mountains. They did not expect that although they looked close, they were actually quite far away. By the time they reached there, the sun had already set. They had no choice but to wait until the next day. On this day, they circled around the mountains. In the end, they did not see a single spirit beast. This proved that this place was unusual. On the second day, when the sun was about to set, they left the range of the mountain range and slowly flew towards the middle of two mountains. Just as they passed through the middle of the two mountains, the scene in front of them changed. Previously, It looked like a swamp, but now it was a patch of gray. There was no setting sun, and there were no emerald green plants. They looked behind them. Although they could see the two mountains from before, they did not feel like they were in the same space. Did we enter this place? It should be. It's a patch of gray everywhere here. Where could the ghost city be? I know this, Diwu said. Didn't you say that you didn't know? I didn't know how people from the human world came to this place. When I arrived here, I knew, Diwu explained. Then how do we go? It is said that there is only one direction at the border between humans and ghosts. No matter where we go, we will reach the ghost city, Diwu said. The direction we go is to enter the ghost city, and when we exit the ghost city, we will go to another world. So magical. This was the first time Sima Yue had heard of it, and she found it unbelievable. It seemed like there were 4 directions, but there was only one direction. This was a little strange, but in a special place like this, it wasn't unacceptable. So, no matter where we go, we will reach the ghost city. Then why do you say that you know the way? Sima Lufeng rolled his eyes. That counts as knowing, Di Wu retorted. If not for him, they would not know. Then, let's just randomly choose a direction to go. Sima Yue bit her lips. Did her father go through the same way? Reading background color default settings: classic light, blue classic light, gray classic, green classic, bright yellow, deep blue, ocean, autumn, exuberant green light, elegant red, pink, family red, talk, thick sea, wide sky, wide heart, broken past, snow, white heaven, and earth, gray world. Font color default settings: white, red, green, blue, brown. Font size default settings: small, medium, large. Speed 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 1 0. Mouse scroll description: 1 to 10. 1 is the slowest, 10 is the fastest. Chapter 1305. Who is it? Not only the young man on the ground, Zhang Shuo and his subordinates also noticed Sima Yue. At first, they thought it was someone from the city who had come to watch the show, but when they looked up, they realized that it was someone they had never seen before. Who are you? Zhang Shuo waved his hand, and his men immediately surrounded the two of them. We're just passers-by, Sima Yue said. However, the other party clearly didn't believe him. How could a passerby pass by here? Then who do you think we are? Sima Yue asked. I don't care who you are. Zhang Shuo sneered. I don't care who you are. Since you dare to find out about us, then you can go with him. I don't think it's because we saw you killing people. It's because we're in your so-called forbidden area. Sima Yue said, although you said that you're not afraid of being discovered, your father doesn't seem to be as powerful as you said. He can't guarantee your safety. That's why the killing intent in your eyes is so strong. Am I right? Zhang Shuo stared coldly at Sima Yue. They had only exchanged a few words, but she had already guessed his thoughts. What a terrifying woman. Yue was right. Zhang Shuo was afraid that she would spread the news of him coming to the forbidden area. If no one saw it with their own eyes, and it was just a rumor, his father could remove him from the list. However, if someone saw it, it would be different. That old witch would definitely kill him. Therefore, these two people could not be allowed to live. However, when he saw how beautiful Sima Yue was, he changed his mind. If he could bring her back, he could curry favor with the few beauties in the family. As long as she didn't go out, who would know that they were here? Young mistress, this person's gaze has changed. His killing intent is gone, but he has become a little lecherous, Diwu whispered to Sima Yue. Zhang Shuo did not expect the two of them to be so sensitive. He had only changed his mind, and they had already sensed it. He sneered and said, I'll give you a chance now. If you follow us back obediently, I'll spare your lives. Miss, he wants you to follow him back and eat you. Diwu said, no, that's not what his expression meant. I think he wants to snatch you back and feed you to someone else. Of course, eating wasn't the same as eating. But did this guy have to be so straightforward? The other party had become angry out of humiliation because of him. Zhang Shuo was indeed a little angry, but not to the point of flying into a rage out of humiliation. He was just unhappy that his thoughts had been guessed correctly. Kill that ghost clan member for me. Bring the woman back for me and give her to those lecherous elders in the clan. They will definitely not have any complaints about me. That's really what I think. Miss, we're in danger. Diwu pulled her sleeve and screamed. Sima Yue was speechless. How could her cousin and the ghost master tolerate such a cheerful personality? She thought that the people around her cousin were all mature and steady like Di Lu. She took a glance at these guards. There were ghost and dark spirit masters, which meant that they had a higher status. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to have guards with two different statuses in such a city. She was thinking about how to deal with the other party's people. She had just arrived, and she had already killed someone with a relatively high status. Would it cause any inconvenience to her operation this time? But if she let him go just like that, firstly, she was unwilling to do so. Secondly, what if he found out that she was in some forbidden area and spread the news about her? Should she kill him or not? She had yet to make a decision, but the other party had already made the decision for her. A portion of them attacked Di Wu with deadly moves. Di Wu subconsciously wanted to use his spiritual power to counterattack, but he realized that he couldn't use his spiritual power at all. No wonder those people chose to use punches and kicks to beat him up. There was no other way. Aya, oh my god, it hurts. Although Di Wu was a spirit beast with thick skin, the other party seemed to be spirit beasts too. Therefore, he didn't have any advantage in terms of physical strength. As the other party had more people, he was beaten up until he screamed in pain. However, although he was shouting loudly, he did not slack off in his martial arts. He punched this guard and kicked that guard. His strength was not light either. Unfortunately, two fists couldn't fight against four hands. The other party had too many people, and he was still beaten up badly. Sima Yue saw how badly he was beaten up and looked at the people who came to bully her. She clenched her fists and muttered, "It's been a long time since I used pure strength to fight. I wonder if my body is rusted." After saying that, she punched the face of the person who came to grab her and sent him flying. Bang! That person flew more than 10 meters away and landed heavily on the ground. The loud sound attracted the attention of the others. Was this the strength that a weak woman should have? They looked at that person's collapsed face in disbelief, and then looked at Sima Yue, who didn't change her expression. They were dumbstruck. That person was a spirit beast. How could a human be compared to the strength of his body? But what did they see? A human had sent a shape-shifting beast flying with a single punch, and even caused half of its face to collapse. Sima Yue didn't care about their surprised looks. She flashed and came to Di Wu's side and kicked those people who were beating him away. Di Wu was still being beaten up and didn't expect the people around him to suddenly disappear. He looked at Sima Yue with a face of admiration after the shock. This was so powerful. How is this possible? Zhang Shuo shouted, "How can a human defeat a spirit beast?" She even defeated one with one punch. This was too incredible. He only felt a figure swaying in front of him, and then all of his men fell down. By the time he reacted, only the two of them were left standing. Seeing the murderous intent in Sima Yue's eyes, he was terrified. He hated himself for following that bitch to the restricted area. He couldn't use his spiritual power here, and he didn't have any power to fight back against Sima Yue. Don't kill me." He retreated. His eyes were filled with fear, and his body kept trembling. "Didn't you say you wanted to kill and capture? How about I let you have a taste of it?" Sima Yue approached him slowly. She didn't take action immediately and kept pressuring him. Zhang Shaw looked at her clasped hands and swallowed his saliva in fear. "If you let me go, I won't pursue this matter and treat it as if nothing happened today." PFFF. The knife pierced into his body, and Zhang Shou suddenly widened his eyes. Until his death, he didn't think that he would really lose his life. This book came from Chapter 1306. Sima Yue stood rooted to the ground as she watched the corpse fall to the ground and the young man panting heavily behind it. The youth's hands were stained with blood, and his eyes were bloodshot. His facial features were swollen beyond recognition. He looked at the corpse in front of him with eyes full of hatred. Sima Yue saw the young man crawl up from the ground to approach Zhang Shua, but after a second of hesitation, she did not stop him. Young master has been killed. The guards looked at the fallen Zhang Shua and cried out in horror. Capture them. Otherwise, we'll die if we go back. If they failed to protect their master, they wouldn't be able to survive even if the murderer was caught. However, their strong will to survive gave them a little hope. Hua, I'll give them to you. Sima Yue waved her hand, and Hua appeared in front of everyone. Yu, I didn't expect you to give me so much delicious food as soon as I arrived. Hua was very happy to see so many people to eat. A few vines flew out from her sleeves and quickly divided into several branches in the air. On each branch, a flower as tall as a person bloomed, flirtatious and charming. When a man-eating flower king came out, everyone was scared silly. If they were to face a normal person, they would still have a shred of fighting power. But now, against the man-eating flower king, they had no hope at all. How can there be a man-eating flower king? You're not from Ghost City. If you're right, there's a reward. The reward is to eat all of you, Hua laughed. Those who could walk turned around and ran. At the same time, they were filled with regret. Why did they come to this place? Now, there was really no one to respond to his cries. One after another, people were caught by the Hua. Soon, there was no one left in the alley except for the huge flowers. This is... The young man was stunned. He thought that he would definitely die after killing Zhang Shua today. He didn't expect that the situation would take a 180-degree turn in just a few minutes. Sima Yue looked at the teenager and asked, "What's your name?" The young man came back to his senses and glanced at her. Without saying a word, he turned around and left. At the very least, I saved your life just now. Is this how you repay me? Sima Yue shouted at his back. This is not a place where you should be. Hurry up and leave before anyone notices. Also, if you kill Zhang Shua and his family finds out, it would be better for you to leave this city as soon as possible. The young man paused for a moment before dragging his battered body and continuing to walk forward. Miss, are we letting her go just like that? Diwu covered his bruised and swollen face and asked. Sima Yue smiled, but did not say anything. Looking at his back, she tapped her fingers 3 times. 1, 2, 3, bang. The young man couldn't hold on any longer and fainted. Sima Yue walked over and shook her head. Diwu, take him away. With him. Diwu walked over. Young miss, this person offended a big shot. If we bring him along, we will definitely attract trouble. Why don't I just leave him here and feed him another pill? He won't die for sure. Sima Yue stared at Diwu, and the latter felt goosebumps from her stare. Diwu, she looked at him seriously. Young Mississippi, are you really a hellhound? Sima Yue came over and pulled him around in circles. She looked at him carefully and was very confused. Diwu quickly clarified her suspicions and nodded his head like a chick pecking rice. That's right, I'm the hellhound. I'm the real deal. Sima Yue stood up straight and said, but I feel that you don't look like a hellhound at all. In my impression, this hellhound should only work and not talk. But why do I feel that you don't work and only talk? Diwu was speechless. Young Miss had said so much, and this was the main point. How is he not like a hellhound? Oofed. He didn't look like one. He was one. Being stared at by Sima Yue, he could only carry the young man and use his 10,000-year-old dog nose to avoid everyone, bringing him out of the restricted area safely. Actually, they didn't know why that place became a restricted area, but when they saw the bustling streets, they knew that they were out. Zhang Shua chased the young man all the way into the restricted area and was caught by him not long later, so they were not far from the exit. Sima Yue asked Diwu to carry the young man and follow behind her. Then they looked for an inn along the streets. But after looking around, they didn't find any inn. That's strange. Why aren't there any inns here? Diwu complained. He was already very eye-catching when he carried a person on the streets. With Sima Yue's stunning appearance, the number of people who turned their heads along the way was simply too high. There aren't any inns in Ghost City. The young man on his back woke up and struggled to get down from his back. However, his body didn't have much strength, so he left it at that. Sima Yue turned around to look at him and asked, You said there aren't any inns here? Yes. Even if you walk around the entire Gue city, you won't find any inns. The young man said. Why? Very few outsiders come to Ghost City. Those who come will choose to join a powerhouse so that they will have a place to stay. Those who pass by occasionally are too few who would open an inn here. If that's the case, then we'll stay at your house. Sima Yue said bluntly. The young man remained silent for a while and said, Put me down. Sima Yue gave Diwu a glance, and Diwu immediately put the young man down. The young man looked at the people on the streets and said to the two of them, Follow me. He went into a small alley at the side. Sima Yue and Diwu quickly followed. The young man didn't bring them along the main road, but turned here and there in the small alleys. Finally, they arrived at a dilapidated house and pushed open the courtyard door to enter. Sima Yue looked at the house. There were a few small latrines, and the house was leaning left and right. The fence around the house had also decayed. When she passed by, she wondered if it would fall off if she used too much strength. The courtyard wasn't very clean either. Wood was scattered everywhere, and the jagged edges made it obvious that the wood wasn't broken normally. It was probably broken by those people who usually bullied his house and beat him up. However, she didn't know who was the one who was beaten up. When they came to the room, it was still considered clean. The main reason was that there was nothing in the room. There wasn't even a basic table or chair. There was only a praying mat on the floor. I don't have anything here. Help yourselves. The young man finished speaking and sat down on the praying mat to check his injuries. He seemed to be very familiar with this place. It seemed like getting injured was a common occurrence. What's your name? Sima Yue asked. This time, the young man didn't resist. After a moment of silence, he said, Mu Si. Sima Yue didn't say anything, but the child in the little realm suddenly called out. This book came from. Chapter 1307. Sima Yue was shocked by Xiao Tong's reaction. She asked him telepathically, What's wrong with Mu Si? Why do you have such a big reaction? Sister Yue, Master said that Mu Si is related to you finding your father. He asked me to come here to help you find Mu Si. Xiao Tong explained, then said in disappointment, I didn't expect to find this person the moment we came. Then I'm useless. Sima Yue didn't expect Mu Si to be related to her purpose of coming here. She sized him up, a young man who was bullied. She even offended a big force because she met them. Could he help her save her father? Mu Si knew she was sizing him up. His expression didn't change. He even paused his action of checking his injuries. You don't have to check. The pills I gave you are the best. Your injuries are mostly healed. You just need some time to recover. Sima Yue said. Mu Si checked his injuries. It was as she said, his injuries were much better. In the past, he would need half a month to recover. He didn't expect to recover in half a day. Sima Yue walked over and squatted beside him. She stretched out a hand and poked at the swollen area, saying, In any case, I saved you and gave you a good pill. You didn't even say a word of thanks? Mu Si remained silent. Just when Sima Yue and Diwu thought he wouldn't speak, he opened his mouth, but it was still very simple. I gave you a place to stay. That meant that he was thanking her. How simple. There weren't any chairs here. Sima Yue took out a praying mat and placed it beside Mu Si. She sat down with him. Mu Si raised his head. His eyes were filled with vigilance. Other than his father, no one had ever been so close to him. Don't worry, I'm not interested in your life. Sima Yue said, If I really wanted to do anything to you, would you still be alive? Mu Si understood that, but he was already repulsed by humans, so he wouldn't let his guard down just because of her words. But his gaze wasn't that cold anymore. Who are those people today? Why would he bully you? Sima Yue asked. Speaking of those people, Mu Si's eyes flashed with intense hatred. Sima Yue raised her eyebrows. Even though Zhang Shuo had been killed by him, the hatred in his heart could not be erased. Was it because the hatred was too deep, or was it because there was someone else? However, Mu Si didn't seem to want to say more. He closed his eyes and leaned against the wall, ignoring her. What an arrogant child. Sima Yue also insisted on it. She said to Di Wu, Go out and take a look at the situation here. All right. Diwu nodded and was about to leave. It's best if you don't go out now, Mu Si said. Why? Diwu was puzzled. He was from the ghost race. It should be fine for him to go out, right? Zhang Shuo is dead. It must be chaotic outside. If a new face is discovered at this time, he will definitely be captured. Mu Si said, does that Zhang Shuo have a very high status? That old demonic woman didn't care about Ghost City for the past few years. The one in power now is the Zhang family. Zhang Shuo has an important status among the descendants of the Zhang family. Now that he's dead, they won't just let it go. Mu Si said, since you know that Zhang Shuo has a high status, why did you kill him? Sima Yue asked. I always wanted to kill him, but I didn't have the chance. Mu Si said hatefully. He often let people beat you up like that. Mu Si clenched his fists, agreeing with her words silently. Seems like it. Sima Yue said, those fellows in the courtyard were all beaten up by you. Still silence. The yard was filled with broken limbs. Judging by the looks of it, they were all tables and stools from his house. They had been smashed by those people. Sima Yue felt heartache for this stubborn little fellow. She asked, why did they beat you up? They couldn't beat my father. They were taught a lesson by my father in the past. Now, they shifted their attention to me. Mu Si said. Sima Yue noticed that when he talked about his father, his eyes were filled with worship, but there was a faint sadness between his brows. Your father is very powerful. My father is the most powerful person in Ghost City. Mu Si said, if he didn't go missing, they wouldn't dare to challenge his dignity. How long has your father been missing? 7 years. Mu Si said, ever since I was 8 years old, he never came back. They started bullying you after your father went missing. 2 years later, when my father went missing, they were worried that he would come back, so they didn't dare to cause trouble. Mu Si said, 2 years later, my father still didn't come back, so they started to cause trouble for me. But because there was no news about my father, they didn't dare to take my life. But recently, the news about my father's death spread more and more. Those people really thought that my father was dead, so they were ruthless to me. My father will definitely come back. No wonder there were those things in the courtyard. They probably didn't dare to kill him. So most of the time, they just punched and kicked and used things to smash him. How old were you then? When my father went missing, I was 8. He went missing when he was 8. He started being bullied when he was 10. He was bullied for 5 years. No wonder the hatred in his eyes was so strong. If it was her, she would have killed him long ago. Other than him, there are other people who bullied you? There are many ignorant and incompetent people in the city. There are also many people who take advantage of the situation. Those who used to bootlick might change their faces in the next second. Mu Si replied, so there were many people who bullied him. You and Zhang Shuo have grudge. Why did you dare to bring us back? Aren't you afraid that they will find this place? Sima Yue asked. They won't think of coming here. Mu Si said, although they know that I was bullied by them, they don't think that I have the ability to kill them. When I was on the streets, many people saw that I was beaten half to death. I don't have the ability to kill someone under the protection of so many guards. Sima Yue thought about what he said and felt that it was reasonable. Under normal circumstances, those people would find people who were more powerful than them. People like Mu Si who were oppressed and had no ability would naturally be the first to be eliminated. She didn't expect him to be so smart despite his young age. Mu Si, Mu Si. An anxious voice came from outside the courtyard. Mu Si, who was always cold, immediately stood up and rushed outside. Uncle Yangzi, I'm at home. You're at home? That's great. I heard that someone killed Zhang Shuo. Are you okay? I'm fine. Mu Si, Zhang family is searching for people outside. Stay at home and don't go out, okay? The man who entered the door was stunned when he saw Sima Yue and Di Wu sitting on the ground. He then pulled Mu Si behind him and looked at them defensively. You're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference. as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.